worst Trump assassination attempt, details preventable security failures, and raises more questions about why the Pennsylvania rally was allowed to begin when a suspicious person had been spotted.
Secret Service did not give state or local partners specific instructions for covering the AGR building, including the positioning of local snipers. In an interview with the committee, a Secret Service counter-sniper leader was asked, did the thought even cross your mind that you should inform someone to keep the protectee, meaning Donald Trump, from going on stage? Or if he was already on stage, take him back. Did that thought even cross your mind? The employee said, the thought did not cross my mind. It was more find out what's happening, figure out what's happening. Can we help? Can we take action?
Fox's David Sponge, the Secret Service, as it takes responsibility, continues to cooperate with multiple probes. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Back behind bars, cloudy and 71 degrees downtown. Your radar's clear, low of 59 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. A cop in Indianapolis already in trouble with the law has been arrested again.
Kamal Bola was arrested earlier this month, accused of child molesting and sexual misconduct with a minor. Well, now he's back in jail, having been arrested in Hendricks County for violating the conditions of a protection order. Bola was released from jail last Wednesday, but was seen by a witness outside of a home in Avon near a bus stop for kids in the neighborhood. Bola was arrested and booked again soon after that. He's still employed by IMPD, but Chief Chris Bailey has recommended that he be fired. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana Task Force 1 left for Florida yesterday to help out with Hurricane Helene problems. Ryan Cusack from Crown Point brought along his dog.
His job is to find survivors after a disaster. Specifically, he looks for survivors that might be too weak or even unconscious and they're unable to call out for help.
He tells Wish TV his dog Jake barks once he finds people who need help, and then the rest of the task force steps in. Over 50 tornadoes have been confirmed in Indiana this year, the latest touching down yesterday in LaGrange, Noble, and Steuben counties.
It was one of the most active ones I remember. I think I worked almost every event from I think it was May 7th was when it really got crazy and then went all the way through, and then we just had this dry spell and then now we got this outbreak here.
Megan Dodson with the National Weather Service. There were a few people hurt from those storms last night. And pressure's on for the Indiana Fever. A consecutive loss tonight to the Connecticut Sun would end the team's season.
You don't want this to be the end. You want to keep coming back here. You want to keep coming to practice. You want to keep having shoot around or, have one more game with your team. So I feel like that's how I approach it. I don't want this to end. I feel like it's been a very special year for our organization.
Rookie Caitlin Clark, who had a quiet debut in the WNBA playoffs, a win tonight would extend the series and bring it to Indianapolis. Tip-off is 7:30 if you want to tune in. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Indy, tired of using the fall to paint your house year after year? Then do what Deanna did. She called Rhino Shield.
I was noticing some cracks and the paint's faded. I was like, okay, I think I should get my house painted. So my neighbor had a Rhino Shield placard in the yard. And after they were finished, I was just, wow. With the warranty and everything, it just seemed silly not to go that route.
The ceramic coating of Rhino Shield is specifically formulated for our climate.
So the Rhino Shield crew came out. Nothing was damaged in the process. I was very happy. You couldn't even tell they were there. And the house looked so different. It just looked like a new home.
And right now, Indy, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
I think it increases the curb appeal of your home. Definitely worth it.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
Good afternoon, Harrison. Looking at westbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from Allisonville Road to Keystone Avenue because of an earlier crash. Crash on the west side. It's at the bottom of the exit ramp from northbound 465 to 38th Street. The ramp is open, partially blocked. Eastbound 465 slows from Keystone Avenue to 69, and Penn is shut down right now, both directions of Washington Street. That's because of a concert going on tonight. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Some patchy fog this morning, otherwise mostly cloudy skies, a high of 75. Should be quiet tonight, mostly cloudy, a little cooler too. Overnight low right around 58. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer. Do you mind if I step out of the studio for this segment? Because, I DVR'd The View earlier, and I don't want I don't want to be spoiled.
Wait, it's going to be the best episode of The View ever.
I know. I want to watch it in the whole. I want to watch it all in one setting. And I know we've got some clips we're going to play of Joe Biden, but I just don't want to be spoiled, Hammer, so I'm just going to step out for a second.
Okay, while you do that, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right.
Okay.
Because we haven't done this in a while.
All right, what's that?
Joining the cast of The View today.
Yes.
Was wheeling, dealing, hair sniffing, kiss stealing Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
Happy birthday, dear Valerie. Katanji drowned Jackson.
It's been a little bit since we've checked in with Joe Biden because, one, we weren't sure if he was still alive, and two, he hasn't done anything. But today, he showed up on The View, and I got to be honest, Nige, I got a feeling Kamala Harris was not happy at all. So take a listen to this here.
Interesting.
Joe Biden, speaking to those chicken heads on the panel, says that he's been working with Kamala Harris on foreign policy and domestic policy this whole time.
And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
Now, the reason I say Kamala's probably got her thong in a bunch is that she has been trying desperately to separate herself from Joe Biden this whole time.
Good luck.
And then that old goat goes up there, I've been working with her on foreign policy and domestic policy the whole time.
She hasn't done anything that I haven't been able to do.
She knows everything. So, yeah, If you're Kamala Harris, your head probably spun around like Beetlejuice hearing that. So if I'm Donald Trump, I put out an ad. Oh, you mean she was active in the foreign policy that's been disastrous? She has been active in the domestic policy that's been disastrous? Tim Walz, your thoughts?
We can't afford 4 more years of this.
She's trying so hard, Nige, to give Joe Biden that Heisman Trophy stiff arm, and Biden goes up there and basically says, we're arm in arm on policy.
Well, I mean, Kamala takes credit for Afghanistan. Last one in the room, right?
Boy, what a disaster.
So as much as you want to try to distance yourself from old man Sleepy Joe, you're right there, like you said, lockstep, arm in arm.
Here's a little bit more. Joe Biden was asked if his relationship with Nancy Pelosi has been soured because, she kind of led the coup to kick him out of there. And you could tell Joe Biden's real answer by the way he very casually answers the question, okay?
Our relationship is fine. Look, I never fully believed the assertions that somehow there was this overwhelming reluctance of my running again. I didn't sense that. Mm-hmm. And although the polling, as I said, Biden's polling was different, the fact of the matter is my polling was about, we're always within range of beating this guy.
Yeah.
And, what I did was, I think there were, it makes sense. There were some folks who would like to see me step aside so they have a chance to move on. I get that. That's just human nature. But that wasn't the reason that I stepped down. I stepped down because I started thinking about it. It's hard to think of, I know you're only 30, but it's hard to think of, it's hard for me to even say how old I am.
You see what just happened there? He said, I don't think he had any intention of stepping down. he didn't want to step down right in the very beginning. No matter what he said at the end, I guess I'm getting pretty old, paraphrasing. But what Joe Biden said at the beginning was, yeah, I mean, we were right there neck and neck in the polls. It didn't really have any influence. None of these people had any really, influence or say in me stepping down. Then why did you step down?
Why are you gone?
Yeah.
Right.
If the polls said what they said and you were neck and neck, just like Kamala and Trump are now, why are you gone?
And that pause he had at the beginning.
Yeah.
It wasn't the I may have dementia pause. It was the let me make sure I don't say the wrong thing pause.
I thought you were going to say I may have pooped my pants pause.
Well, that's another one that he has from time to time.
I thought that was the next phrase out of your mouth.
And what's great is you can't rule any of those things out, Nige. Can't rule any of them out. Joe Biden was asked if the hateful rhetoric from Democrats and liberal media is why Donald Trump has people trying to kill him.
And look, Trump is
Careful.
there's not a lot of social redeeming value there.
No, you think right.
But here's the thing. He really does not believe in democracy and the guardrails that our system is set up for the abuse of power. And you look at what he does and what he says, and look what he did.
Yes,
look what he did
on January 6th.
And not on just January 6th was absolutely bizarre.
Yeah,
bizarre.
You mean the part where he got on Twitter and told his supporters to go home or march peacefully? Was that bizarre? Is that what you're talking about? And let's, talk about hateful rhetoric from the left. I mean, should we play the vaccine waters?
Maxine vaccine.
Encouraging supporters to harass Trump officials. If you see anybody from the cabinet in a restaurant, department store, gas station, create a crowd, push back. Nancy Pelosi famously said, why aren't Americans uprising against a Trump administration?
Eric Holder, they go low, we kick them.
Yeah. Kamala Harris, protesters should not let up. Hillary Clinton, Biden should not concede the election if he loses. Those kinds of things, are those the kinds of things that the View, those chicken heads as you notoriously call them, those questions weren't asked. Those incidents weren't brought up.
Biden says it's Trump's fault that people are trying to kill him. Let that sink in for just a little bit. Now, if already you're thinking to yourself, boy, this sounds like a horrible show. This sounds like a show that I'm losing brain cells just talking about it on the radio. Get ready, Bal, because Sunny Hostin of The View,
she's awful.
She was talking about how Joe Biden will be remembered in the annals of U.S. history.
But I truly believe that his legacy will be etched in the history books as Washington.
Huh?
She thinks Joe Biden's going to go down in history as a great patriot like George Washington.
What is she talking about?
Billy Madison, the academic decathlon host. Can I get your thoughts?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Trillions added to the national debt, inflation, high prices, illegal immigration, horrible foreign policy. Yeah, when I think of all those things, I think George Washington.
There was a special council member that said the current president of the United States was too stupid to stand trial. And right. Sunny Hostin is comparing him to George Washington.
Yep.
Big event this weekend, Nige. Are you ready to get your pickleball on?
I'm fired up for this, man. The pop-up pickleball social presented by Franciscan Health down at Craig Park in Greenwood. Craig,
get up, Craig. Get up, Craig.
Kind of like an all-day thing. Just show up. There's a cool clinic happening. like from 9 to noon, 10 to noon, and then it's just going to be like open play and stuff like that. I'm fired up.
Are you
It's
and
great.
JMV going to show up in your really, really short shorts where it looks like something John Stockton would have worn for a 1984 NBA game?
Me and John have been discussing our attire for the pop-up pickleball event, because it's not just this station, it's a sports talk. It's all the stations, I believe, here.
Right.
In Radio 1 in this building. So I think I heard JMV talking trash to, what's his name? Swifty?
B Swift.
B Swift. Is that on radio? Is that the Radio Now guy?
Yeah.
Is he the afternoon
Right.
guy?
He's
Okay.
also the hype guy for the Pacers, the guy that gets on the microphone and gets the crowd hyped up. He's that guy.
All
He's
right.
awesome. I love that dude.
Well, you know what? Me and John are going to take on him and Rob Kendall, and we're going to destroy them.
At any point, if you're at the net and you see Sean Copeland of B on the opposite side, I want you to go to full Gaylord Fokker mode and just bring the heat down, man. Just get up for the spike and bring it down.
It's only a game, Nigel.
So again, hope to see everybody this Saturday. Craig Park in Greenwood, the pop-up pickleball social presented by Franciscan Health. And here to talk a little bit more about this event is AI Joe Biden.
Oh, my.
Hey, I can't wait for this Saturday in the big. You know, the big water skiing event. I look forward to seeing you in Greenwood. And just like the Fonz on Happy Days. It will be great to watch Nigel jump over sharks while wearing a European-style Speedo that shows off his fat, hairy crotch.
It's not water skiing, Mr. President. It's pickleball. And
he's not entirely wrong about my attire, though.
No.
My attire.
Yeah, I'm really afraid about what you and JMV may be wearing. Matt Bear, what's going on?
Looking at a crash on the northeast side. It's from northbound 465 to northbound 65. The off-ramp is partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by Mecum Auctions. Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds October 3rd to the 5th with 1,000 muscle cars, classics, Corvettes, trucks, and more. Register to bid and buy spectator tickets at mecum.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Cloudy skies, 71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Who do we got next, Nige?
Oh, man, Bob Zaney, comedian Bob Zaney for an "Oh, really" factor.
Oh, really?
There's a big benefit this weekend down at Belterra Casino down at south near Kentucky, near the river,
Yes.
right? For Donnie Baker / Ron Sexton, a big benefit with a ton of comedians. It's all for charity, and Bob Zaney is a part of it. Bob is going to call the show next for his take on politics and pop culture and the news with an all-new "Oh, really" factor. That's next. Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Hey, it's JMV. Have you been thinking about adding to the landscape all summer but haven't? Miss M's Home and Garden wants to help you solve that problem this fall. Now is a great time to plant trees and shrubs for next season. And the best part, they're 20 to 50% off. The friendly staff can help you find the right selections for your landscape. Shop now, save 20 to 50% on all container trees and shrubs, and 50% off pottery while supplies last. Miss M's on State Road 135 south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. For 17 years, my friends at Hope Plumbing have treated homes like their very own. With local owners who care deeply about this community, they put your health and safety at the forefront of their business. That's why when I need plumbing help, no matter how big or small, I only call Hope Plumbing. They care about you and your family, which is why I believe they're the very best place to take your plumbing problems. Give them a call at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE or hopeplumbing.com.
Are you concerned about rising gasoline taxes? I'm Donald Rainwater, Libertarian candidate for governor. Hoosiers currently pay sales tax and excise tax on gasoline to the state. No one should pay two taxes for gasoline. So my plan is to abolish the gasoline excise tax in Indiana. To learn more about my plan to make Indiana government less taxing, go to rainwaterforindiana.com. My name is Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message. Paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
At Shane Company, we make finding your perfect engagement ring fun and easy. Because let's be honest, you might feel a little stressed out. We get it. That's why we do all the hard stuff. It's our job to bring you the biggest selection of beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones, so many amazing settings, and all the customization your heart desires. We've got your style and your price range covered, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Come in for a warm welcome and leave with your dream ring and an experience you'll never forget. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Buying or selling a home is a big deal, literally. It's one of the largest financial transactions you're likely to make. So work with someone who will work with your best interests in mind. Someone who agrees to operate with transparency, honesty, and fairness every step of the way. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and are bound by a strict code of ethics that requires they put your interests above their own. Because that's who we are. Make sure your agent is a realtor.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
I think I'm going to go to the restroom and take a big Joe.
Why don't you talk into the microphone?
Please welcome our friend and my friend, Bob Zaney.
A lot of those health studies, they say eating an apple a day can make breathing easier. Tell that to the pig at the luau.
Oh, really?
Factor. Let's get right to it. Hillary Clinton's campaign manager has not ruled out a woman-woman ticket. He said we'll actually start with a broad list.
Really Factor. With comedian Bob Zaney. Exclusively on the Hammer and Nigel Show. 93 WIBC.
Yeah, comedian Bob Zaney with his take on news, pop culture, and politics. Bob, how are you, my friend? It's been a minute.
I'm doing great. I'm actually calling you guys from Arizona. I came down to Arizona for a little bit, and I was driving back to Vegas, my adopted hometown now.
You weren't the guy that had his crank bit by a scorpion at one of those Las Vegas resorts, were you?
No, and I heard about that story, and the interesting part that they didn't report, he was bitten in the testicles by a scorpion. But luckily, 10,000 bed bugs took the scorpion down.
Well, good. See, there's a silver lining to it.
Oh, so Bob, what are you doing? You're going to be in the area shortly?
Well, I'm going to be at the Belterra Hotel and Casino this Saturday night, along with Kostaki Economopoulos, Greg Hahn, I believe Pat Godwin, a lot of great people. We're doing the Donnie Baker, Ron Sexton Comedy Memorial Tour.
Right on.
And it's a fundraiser for a great cause. So if they're headed down to, and again, this is the fascinating thing about the Belterra. I've been going there for years. Every time I go back, they change the name of the city it's in.
And you said it's a fundraiser, is that right?
Yeah, it's a charity show.
Okay.
And I say that because I'm not getting paid. But the point is, I have an excuse to call you gentlemen, so it works out.
And the point is, we all miss our friend Ron Sexton and his alter ego, Donnie Baker. Should be a great charity event this weekend. And let's do an O'Reilly factor.
Oh, really?
How about an O'Reilly factor?
Well, let's get right to it. According to the Commodities Future and Trading Commission, allowing to let people to bet on the outcome of a U.S. election poses a great risk. Not to mention you have to show a picture ID to join a betting site.
Oh, really? Little irony there.
That's racist. Yeah. I've been told to have to show an ID for anything.
Yeah, no, that would be racist. Former President George W. Bush will not endorse a candidate for president. When asked why, he said because their last name isn't Bush. Former Vice President Dick Cheney has endorsed Kamala Harris. When asked why, he says because I want to live up to my first name.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Rocket scientist talk show host Whoopi Goldberg
Yeah?
that abortion is okay because it's not mentioned in the Ten Commandments. I guess she passed over number 6.
Thou shalt not kill. Of course.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, President Biden's staff has doubled down on his vitality and vigor. They say they can't keep up with him cleaning out his desk.
Oh, really?
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 Oh, really?
This is interesting. The Supreme Court has rejected an emergency appeal to allow Jill Stein of the Green Party to appear on the Nevada ballot for president, disenfranchising tens of voters.
All 10 of them very upset.
That's a very generous estimate, actually. 10s.
I think he rounded up.
Hey, by the way, I just want to mention the official Bob Zaney channel. That's where you can go and watch a lot of great stand-up videos. And if you subscribe, it's free. And then we put up new videos every day. And I keep finding jokes that I used to do that I don't do anymore. Can I do one of those for you?
Oh, sure. Why not? We're wide open here.
Well, the times are changing. I was sitting at the bar, and a lady next to me was breastfeeding. And the bartender comes up to me and said, "What will you have?" I said, "Well, I'll have what the baby's having." Make it a double. Make it a double.
There it is. Yeah. Bob Zaney, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Bob, one more time. Where are you going to be this weekend for the big show?
It's a big comedy show. Just go to Facebook. Dusty Privet. I don't know if you know Dusty.
Yeah,
he was a member of the Pork Pistols. He's been doing a lot of advertising on Facebook. Just look up Dusty Privet, and you can see all that there. It's a great show at the Bell Terrace Saturday night. Saturday.
Big Donnie Baker tribute going on this Saturday with Bob Zaney and a full crew. Thank you so much, Bob.
Till next time, this is Bob Zaney for Nigel and Hammer, both made-up names. Their real names are Pete and Paul. Yay!
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through October 10th, get fast, reliable 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract with free Wi-Fi equipment included. And ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless bill and auto post direct bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Indiana Foundation Service. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at indianafoundation.com.
My husband, Bob, has Parkinson's, and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care, and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. To learn more, eligible members call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. $10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Over 50 this year and counting. 72 degrees, partly cloudy downtown. No rain currently on your radar. 59 is tonight's low. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. More tornadoes touched down in Indiana Tuesday. This time in the northern part of the state. Megan Dodson with the National Weather Service says video is able to help meteorologists make confirmation.
It's a little bit easier when you have a video because that kind of rules out the was it straight line winds or a tornado, and so you can go right to how strong was the tornado.
The storm impacted Noble, LaGrange, and Steuben counties, and people were hurt as well. Remember about 3 years ago when U.S. troops were withdrawn from Afghanistan? Indiana Republican Congressman Jim Baird does, and he still wants the Biden administration held accountable for what happened next. In particular, he wants Secretary of State Antony Blinken held in contempt.
Throughout the committee's entire investigation into the withdrawal, Secretary Blinken and the U.S. State Department repeatedly obstructed, delayed, and refused to comply with the legitimate oversight inquiries.
Baird's a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, committee that's part of the reason why he's talking about that. Project 2025, you may have heard of it. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says it's not exactly a plan with Americans' best interests in mind.
That is the blueprint for Donald Trump's presidency and the extreme MAGA Republican effort to exercise total control over the lives of the American people in ways that will hurt working families and the middle class.
If you haven't heard of Project 2025, it's a 900-page list of policy objectives created by the Heritage Foundation. Former President Donald Trump says he's got nothing to do with it. You may have heard Indiana Task Force 1 showed up to Florida yesterday to help with Hurricane Helene's search and rescue. What you may not know is someone brought their dog. Ryan Cusack tells Wish TV his Labrador Retriever helps find people who need help.
And when he finds them, he starts to bark, and that's what alerts us to the presence of a victim so we can go and rescue them.
Cusack is one of 80 people who was sent to the Sunshine State. And a Hoosier won America's Got Talent. Richard Goodall, a school janitor from Terre Haute, flexed his golden pipes with renditions of classic 80s hits to land the show's grand prize of $1 million. Talk about someone who never stops believing. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Did you know you can now use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get you real lasting pain relief? Tony Katz here. We're talking about QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, your hips, your back, your shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. The consultation is totally free, so call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. Call 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics, Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
The traffic at 3:34. Here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, on the northeast side, it is a crash on the exit from northbound 465 to northbound 69. It's over on the shoulder, slowing us down back to East 56th Street. We are moving, though. Inbound 65, stop and go 21st to Meridian Penn. And southside crash, eastbound 465 at the White River. That's blocking the right lane, causing stop and go traffic back to Kentucky Avenue. Crash Morris Street at Belmont. Traffic sponsored by Mecum Auctions. Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds October 3rd through the 5th with 1,000 muscle cars, classics, Corvettes, trucks, and more. Register to bid and buy spectator tickets at mecum.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dry and mostly cloudy for tonight with lows down in the upper 50s to low 60s.
Thursday will feature partly to mostly cloudy skies. Isolated showers cannot be ruled out with highs in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Steve Indiana for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Is it Hurricane Helene?
Helene!
It is strengthened into a hurricane. It's going to intensify before landfall tomorrow in Florida. There in the Panhandle, looking like a Cat 3. And we could see remnants after that as far north as right where you and I are sitting right now.
So this is a pretty nasty storm making its way through the Gulf right now. And depending on the way that it turns, it looks like central Indy, couple days removed, will see the remnants of what's left of this storm.
Come on, man.
And I'm hoping that it doesn't rain out the pickleball
Don't
event.
even talk about it. We're not even going to bring that up. I've been so looking forward to this. We're not even going to bring it up. But, yeah, my concern obviously was the people that are immediately affected down there in the Panhandle.
Right, right. And again, we're going to know a little bit more tomorrow. It's a big night tonight, depending on which way the storm moves. But it jumped from a tropical storm where winds were about 80 miles per hour. And what we're expecting to see during landfall tomorrow, somewhere on the Panhandle, sustained winds of 125 miles an hour.
My wife and I always talk about this when we get older and the kids are out of town or out of the house. Do we want to think about moving to Florida? And I'm always like, yeah, I definitely move to Florida. But, man, the hurricane aspect of once in a while, it doesn't happen all the time. 2 years ago, it was really, really bad. I forget the name of the hurricane that was 2 years ago. But I just, is it worth it? We've talked to my friend Marco, who used to work on this radio station as a personality, lives in Tampa, had to evacuate several years ago for another hurricane, almost ran out of gas on the highway. I don't ever want to be stuck in that situation, man.
One of our YouTube contributors, Troy, who is down in Tennessee, the eastern part of Tennessee, around Gatlinburg, writes that they're getting a lot of rain already right now. They're closing some of the high-profile tourist attractions down there. And that should tell you how big of a storm this is. It hasn't made landfall in Florida yet. That's not till tomorrow. But these big outer bands are already hitting the south.
And I thought that I read, and let me double check, but I thought I read the Tampa International Airport closing tomorrow for Thursday.
So I'm heading down to Destin, which is on Panhandle, in about 3 weeks for some fall break action. I'm hoping it's not flattened by the time I get there.
I think you should be good. But, yeah, Tampa International, just in case you're traveling to that area, they are suspending all commercial cargo operations beginning at 2 a.m. tonight, Thursday, ahead of Hurricane Helene.
So we will have more information on this big bad mamma jamma tomorrow, what it means for Florida, in case you have loved ones there or maybe you've got a trip coming up or whatever. But also, when is this thing going to spin back up to the Midwest and hit Indiana? And I say hit, I mean just give you some solid rainfall for a long period of time. We'll have that information tomorrow. Until then, Mr. Attorney General Todd Rokita, please hit me with some legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
Did the Attorney General, did he have to sign a waiver or some sort of document saying that we were allowed to use his voice and likeness for that? Or?
We just told him we'd get Rob Kendall to shut the hell up, and it's been kind of a gentleman's agreement.
That didn't work.
Dateline, Richmond, Indiana. A woman by the name of Tiffany Harsh, 39 years old, is charged with burglary, a level 5 felony, arson, a level 6 felony, and theft, a level 6 felony.
Yeah.
Now, according to documents, this employee of this printing business caught 39-year-old Tiffany Harsh inside. Harsh had reportedly lit a fire on the inside of the business, and it was filling up with smoke when the authorities arrived.
Yeah, that's a problem. Lots of paper and printing businesses, I would assume.
But for some reason, she was soaking wet. Her hair was wet. Her clothes were wet. She was barefoot. She's also accused of destroying blueprints, stealing a tip jar that was inside of the business, and covering numerous papers in human feces.
Well, Tiffany Harsh, 39 of Richmond, I want to party with you.
Do you?
No.
Do you really?
Good Lord, what is going through this person's mind?
What's the more egregious thing here? Setting the fire, stealing the tip jar, or wiping poop on all the documents?
Yeah, it's the feces, of course. I mean, arson is pretty... I would say arson's a pretty typical crime, but wiping feces all over to add insult to injury?
And why was she wet? Like, was it water? Was it something else? I don't know. Maybe they have a sprinkler system inside, and when it started filling up with smoke, it came off.
That was it, probably.
But you'd think it would have washed off the feces, too.
Whose feces was it?
I believe it was Tiffany's.
Tiffany? Is that one of the questions the cops ask afterwards, the investigators and detectives? Tiffany, after going over a litany of things that she did wrong and crimes. By the way, just a side note here, whose feces was that you were putting all over the papers and the desks? Oh, that was mine. That was my feces.
I mean, it feels like she should be charged for that. There's no charge for that. She got hit with burglary, arson, and theft. Like, what would be the charge for wiping your own poo on a bunch of things? Is that reckless abandonment?
Do you go into, like, you're going to start a fire, you're going to vandalize this place. Do you go into it with a full stomach? Do you go in? Like,
that's a good question. Do you prep?
Have spicy Mexican hours before and purposely withhold it in, knowing that part of the plan is not only to set the place on fire, allegedly, but to put human fecal matter on some of the documents and desks that are inside the building.
I think we're going to need to do a little backtracking, like find out just based on receipts, where she was, her phone, like was she at Taco Bell an hour before? Did she go to the liquor store to get warm Budweiser to chase it with?
That'll do it. Or maybe she had some fiber or some sort of, I don't know what you call it, Miralax? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that the stuff you use before a colonoscopy?
Oh, yeah. Man.
I'm just saying there had to have been some thought. You don't just go into this thinking.
Right. Like if I wanted to go into our boss's office right now, if I wanted to kick open David Wood's door and set a fire, I probably could.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've got anything back there to wipe, to get on his documents.
Right.
You have to pre-plan that kind of stuff. So this could not have been a spur-of-the-moment thing unless she never wipes to begin with, and it just happens to be caked on there, and bada bing, bada boom.
Good Lord.
Doing all right, Allison?
She didn't even turn on her mic. No, I just heard a no in the background.
No.
Living the dream. How many days do you regret your career decisions working with us?
3 out of 5.
Okay, that's not bad.
Actually, yeah, that's good.
We've got an update on a story we had earlier in the week. We talked about rapper Macklemore. He went on stage in Seattle, and he basically said, F America.
Straight up, say it. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you. F America.
And the crowd cheered for it, too. Like, they loved it.
So original. So edgy. Try saying that at a Trump rally, Macklemore. With that idiot haircut that you have. This was at some pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian fundraiser type deal in Seattle.
Well, it did not go unnoticed by country music artist Hardy. Now, Hardy is a successful country artist in his own right, but he's also the opening act for Morgan Wallen right now.
I like Hardy.
And they had a big concert at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville.
That's
one
where-
of the biggest stadiums in the country.
I mean, I think that's where Morgan Wallen's from.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Big Tennessee Vol fan.
Yeah.
Did 2 nights there. He came out with Peyton Manning one night.
Didn't he bring the baseball team out the other night?
Baseball team
Tennessee's
came out the
baseball?
other
Yeah.
night. So the opening act was Hardy, and I believe he has a response for Mr. Macklemore.
I see a lot of people posting and talking shit about living in the United States of America and being a United States citizen. And to that I say, F you. If you don't like living here, the United States is the greatest country on this planet. I'm damn proud to live in this country. I'm damn proud of it. We got people that work their ass off every single day of their life, put their life on the line so we can go to concerts and Neyland Stadium.
He kind of reminds me of the country version of Kid Rock, even though Kid Rock has kind of turned Southern country.
Right.
Hardy is like maybe the younger version of a country version of Kid Rock.
And it looks like he's gained a little weight. So if like Kid Rock and Jelly Roll had a kid, I think it'd be Hardy.
Really?
I
Because Kid
think
Rock,
so.
I've been watching the podcast or the show that Tucker Carlson did with Kid Rock up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Kid Rock, man, for his reputation, like as a partier, as a drunkard, as a guy that owns his own bar in Nashville, he looks damn good. I think he kind of plays it up a little bit.
Now, again, and I love this story. And Allison, you've told this story before. You were down in Nashville for like a bachelorette party or a girls' weekend or something.
Yeah.
And you saw Kid Rock, but the group you were with didn't know who it was.
Yeah, we were in line on Broadway for his bar, and it was a group of girls. Yeah, with bachelorette. I would say majority was my age or a little younger. We were in line. Kid Rock jumps on the stage so we could see it through the window. People were freaking out, obviously, and all the girls in front of me were like, "Who's that? Who's that? What's going on?" And I felt so bad because the people behind me were clearly big Kid Rock fans, and I just look at them and I go, "You can skip ahead in front of us. These girls don't deserve to be in this bar right
to
now."
be where they're at for the
But
party.
I did get a little video of him, and he was killing it. It was fun.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I like his bar.
Yeah,
like
it's cool.
if you've been down
I've
to
never been.
Nashville,
No, I
that
haven't been.
Broadway strip there, the Kid Rock, what's it called? Rock and Roll Badass Honky Tonk Steakhouse or whatever it's called. Man, good food, and who knows? You might even see Kid Rock.
I'll never forget after his performance at X Fest. Like, I'm working at X103. We're there at the hotel on, I think it was at I-69 and 465. He gets off his tour bus stumbling. He's got a half-empty bottle of Jim Beam in one hand and a porn star in the other. And me and my buddies were there. We were just like, like all green and starstruck. And he was at our event that we put on. And I always regret not asking him, "Hey, man, this is our event. Can we come up and party?" Because I know he would have. He like stood there and talked to us for a couple of minutes. Or maybe I'm deluding myself. Or maybe I'm, we were in our 20s.
Right, and I'm sure you have probably been doing a little bit of drinking too.
Actually, I hadn't. Actually, it was I was okay, but I had fooled myself. Like my buddies were like, "Why didn't you ask him if we could go up and party with him?" I'm like, I don't know.
I'm the guy that got shut down by Diddy. You want me to ask Kid Rock? He's gonna look at you and go, "Nah." It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me.
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Consumer warning. Stay away from stablecoin Tether. Tether is a cryptocurrency company with a so-called stablecoin called USDT. It's supposed to be backed one for one by the US dollar. But Tether's murky past exposes Americans to outsized risk, shady practices, false claims, legal entanglements, deliberate lack of transparency. The United Nations called Tether the preferred choice for regional cyber fraud operations and money launderers. Tether has never published an independent audit of its finances and operations. Financial rating company S&P gave Tether a high-risk rating, a major red flag. Warning: owning a stablecoin that isn't independently audited comes with enormous risk. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Steer clear of stablecoin Tether. Visit tetherwarning.com to learn more. Paid for by Consumers Research.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg. This is your premier gun store. Premier Arms has the experience and know-how to help the new gun buyer and the most experienced marksman. They've been in business for over 20 years and have a friendly, knowledgeable staff that wants to help you, not talk down to you. Premier Arms in Brownsburg is family-friendly, so bring the kids. All ages are welcome. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. premierarms.com.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
We believe strongly in the power of education.
We also understand the impact it has on the success of communities across Indiana.
We see this through our work at the IHSAA, teaching 160,000 student athletes through education-based athletics.
And we see this through our work at Ivy Tech, where over 90,000 Indiana high school students are earning dual college credit while finishing high school.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig.
And I'm Dr. Sue Elsperman, President of Ivy Tech Community College.
We're proud to partner with organizations like Ivy Tech that prioritize education and community.
At Ivy Tech, we have more than 70 programs,
helping Indiana high school students get a head start on college and their careers.
We offer the state's most affordable tuition and have saved families over $100 million this year.
Providing learning opportunities for Hoosier students is how we build a strong Indiana. This is the power of community.
This is the impact of education.
This is your IHSAA.
Trust our family to take care of your family. Call us today for our family maintenance plan at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Tailgate this Sunday from 10 to 1 at the parking lot at McCarty and Church Street before the Colts-Steelers game. Presented by Real Alternatives, Jack Daniels, and Twin Peaks. Register to win tickets to the game and $100 in Colts cash from Bud Light. No purchase necessary.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Southside crash eastbound 465 at the White River, blocking the right lane and stopping traffic back to I-70 for a delay time of 26 minutes. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic from MLK to Meridian Penn, and crash west aside Morris at Belmont. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Man Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
73 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Nigel, you got a compliment on the YouTube page.
Really?
Hoosiers Hang Banners writes, Nigel's been looking less bloated recently. Has he been mixing in some light beers?
I haven't been mixing any beers. In fact, the first beers I've had were Saturday afternoon when the wife was gone and the kids were away, and I had some spotted cows in the fridge.
I do love some spotted cow.
And I think part of it, too, is some of the dermatologist. I went back to the dermatologist and got some ivermectin ivermectin lotion.
Ivermectin.
And that's been kind of causing the face to look a little more realistic.
A little less bloated.
A little less bloated and red-faced and blotchiness. That has a lot to do with the bloated look. But thank you, Hoosier Hang Banners. I appreciate that.
Rick Snyder, FOP president. He joins us next.
It's a scary thought when you worry if you'll run out of money in retirement. 70% of Americans fear running out of money in retirement, more than they do death. And now that Social Security looks like it's going to run out of money in less than 10 years, going broke in retirement could be a very real threat. So you need to learn the strategies that could help you avoid running out of money in retirement with a free analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
We know and trust Bill Demery. He's our retirement guy, and he could be your retirement guy. So if you've saved more than $200,000, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. The last thing you want is to be 80 years old, full of life, but you don't have any money. So call Bill Demery, 317-648-5120.
Hey, it's autumn, and if you want to hit the road here the last half of the year, don't exactly know what you want to do or where you want to go, you join AAA. As a member, you get free travel planning plus the best available pricing for your trip. And, of course, all the roadside assistance available.
AAA Hoosier Motor Club members get free travel planning help, plus discounts on hotels, cruises, rental cars, and more. AAA travel agents will make sure you get the best price on that fall vacation. Plus, if you run into trouble anywhere on the road this fall, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas, lock your keys in the car. AAA has got you 24/7, 365, no matter where you are. So if you're not a member right now, become a member today. You're going to be glad you did. 844-GO, AAA-GO, or visit AAA.com or stop by your local AAA office. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Come celebrate the 51st Annual New Earth Festival this Saturday and Sunday in historic Atlanta, Indiana. Free admission and over 600 vendors offering handmade arts, crafts, antiques, and collectibles. Free entertainment all weekend with 9 live bands plus Kids Zone with 5 bounce houses. You can skip the drive and arrive in style on the Nickel Plate Express train. Saturday night concert and fireworks sponsored by Duke Energy and Barbecueology. Visit AtlantaIndiana.com for more information. That's AtlantaIndiana.com.
If you have a well, you simply have to have regular preventative maintenance, or you're going to have a no water event at some point. For a limited time, C&J is offering a 6-point inspection for only $845, and that's a full 15% discount for a flow evaluation, switch analysis, pump amps test, pressure tank check, leak inspection, and a bacteria sampling. Clean out before you chill out. Just call C&J. Great systems and great people, too. 317-852-WELL. That's 317-852-WELL.
Coming up in 2 minutes, why a cop has been arrested a couple of times. Kurt Darling will have that story. Where a few more tornadoes were spotted in Indiana Tuesday. And a janitor from Terre Haute won America's Got Talent and their $1 million prize. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Not just getting by, getting ahead. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Vice President Kamala Harris says that's what she wants for Americans.
Be able to thrive. I don't want you to have to worry about making your monthly rent if your car breaks down.
She says investing in the middle class will grow that economy.
Manufacturing, housing, healthcare.
Telling the Economic Club of Pittsburgh, former President Trump would take the country back to failed policies. Trump speaking earlier outside Charlotte.
41 days from now, we are going to win the state of North Carolina.
Touting his plan to spur a manufacturing renaissance with tax breaks, which the Harris campaign calls a repeat of broken promises.
No vice president in history has done more damage to the United States economy than Kamala Harris. She has no idea what she's talking about on economy or really on anything else.
The former president plans to return to Butler, Pennsylvania for an October 5th rally. That's 1 week from Saturday. That's where would-be assassin Thomas Crooks opened fire on a Trump rally in July, killing one person, injuring Trump and two others before he was killed by Secret Service snipers. That shooting remains under investigation, with one Senate committee releasing its preliminary findings on multiple security failures.
The report mentions how Crooks flew a drone 200 yards from the site and used a range finder, but the Secret Service, for some reason, could not fly their drone, citing technical issues. With no backup system, the Secret Service agent responsible for overseeing the drone capabilities at the July 13th rally called a toll-free 888 tech support hotline to start troubleshooting with the company, which took several hours.
Fox's David Spunt, a bipartisan task force, holds its first meeting tomorrow. A sell-off for the Dow, down 293 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He was already put in handcuffs once. 72 degrees, partly cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Check of the radar comes up clear of any rain. Temps tonight drop just below 60 degrees. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. A cop in Indianapolis already in trouble with the law has been arrested again.
Kamal Bola was arrested earlier this month, accused of child molesting and sexual misconduct with a minor. Well, now he's back in jail, having been arrested in Hendricks County for violating the conditions of a protection order. Bola was released from jail last Wednesday, but was seen by a witness outside of a home in Avon near a bus stop for kids in the neighborhood. Bola was arrested and booked again soon after that. He's still employed by IMPD, but Chief Chris Bailey has recommended that he be fired. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A former Jay County deputy was arrested today. State police were recommended to look at the actions of Deputy Derek Bogenschutz, which led to his arrest for identity deception. Not much else has been reported. Bogenschutz is still considered innocent until proven guilty. Tornadoes were spotted Tuesday in LaGrange, Noble, and Steuben counties.
It was one of the most active ones I remember. I think I worked almost every event from I think it was May 7th was when it really got crazy, and then went all the way through, and then we just had this dry spell, and then now we got this outbreak here.
Megan Dodson with the National Weather Service. A few people were hurt in those storms. In Florida, a man and his dog are helping out with the Hurricane Helene response.
His job is to find survivors after a disaster. Specifically, he looks for survivors that might be too weak or even unconscious, and they're unable to call out for help.
Indiana Task Force 1 member Ryan Cusack explaining to Wish TV how his lab is helping with search and rescue. Cusack is one of 80 people from Indiana that were sent to Florida to help out. And he won $1 million, announced his marriage, and named the winner of America's Got Talent.
That's a pretty good week from Richard Goodall. I'm Ryan Hedrick.
Somebody just pinch me. Just pinch me.
That was the reaction Tuesday night from the Vigo County school janitor after winning the NBC show. What you're listening to right now is Goodall covering the 80s hit Don't Stop Believin'. Members from Journey joined him on the stage. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
This October 10th through 20th, witness a race like no other. In Driven to Save Lives, a documentary that's more than just a story. It's a life-saving movement.
Driven to Save Lives is inspiration.
Fueled by the legacy of racing champion Brian Clausen, whose heart symbol on his driver's license became a beacon of hope. This film explores the powerful impact of organ and tissue donation in Indiana's racing community and beyond.
To hear Brian's heart beat again, I'll never forget that moment.
Join us for the world premiere event during the Heartland International Film Festival on October 12th at Newfields, or stream the film online.
What Driven to Save Lives does is gives all of us the opportunity to be Brian Clausen.
Visit driventosavelives.org for more information and tickets. That's driven, 2, savelives.org.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Southside Harrison crash eastbound 465 at the White River, blocking the right lane, causing stop traffic back to Sam Jones Expressway. Delay time 30 minutes on the nose. Inbound 65 stop and go, MLK2 the north split. Eastbound 70 slow to downtown Tibbs to Meridian, Illinois, and on the east side northbound 465 tight from Penn Pike up to I-69. Crash on the west side Morris at Belmont. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dry and mostly cloudy for tonight with lows down in the upper 50s to low 60s. Thursday will feature partly to mostly cloudy skies. Isolated showers cannot be ruled out with highs in mid to upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Steve Indiana for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. I think we have a special guest on the hotline.
We all good to go? Allison, thumbs
good?
up. All right. Rick Snyder is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86. Rick, how are you?
Doing well, my friend.
So there's a story out about this guy, and I think this was the hostage situation that took place recently. He's been charged with attempted murder of 2 Indianapolis police officers. These are the same officers that rescued the female hostage as this lunatic was firing shots at them. You can't be serious when you're telling me he only got $10,000 bail.
Yeah, what we actually found is that he received a $100,000 bond, but it's a surety bond, which means that he can simply pay $10,000 and walk right back out onto the streets and be a danger to our community again. Guys, this is what we have been talking about. For the life of me, how one cannot figure this out. If someone is willing to shoot at police officers, on video I might add, with bullets whizzing by their head while they're trying to rescue a female hostage who's being held at gunpoint, if a judge can't figure out that there is a higher level of danger and violence to the community by providing the opportunity for that person to be released onto the streets again, I don't know what they can figure out. We've got to be able to say that if you're firing shots at police officers, the propensity for violence to the community is at a height and a level so high that you shouldn't be eligible to be returned back out onto the street. But that's where we are in Indianapolis, and that's why officers, I might add, are fleeing from this city in droves, just like we have warned would occur with these low-level sentences, low-level bonds, and low-level accountability for those that do harm toward our police.
Rick, is this a case of like the judge didn't have a choice? Like there are certain restraints that the judge has in determining whether or not the bail is set or what amount is set? Or
well, there is a bond matrix in Marion County.
Yes,
but here's the thing: the bond matrix is different for every county. We need a standardized bond matrix across the state of Indiana that provides guardrails for the judges to operate within. But here's the thing, guys: the judges say, "Well, we have a bond matrix that we're governed by." The question is this: who creates the bond matrix? It's the judges. They're the ones that create it. So what we have said is, why don't you allow for higher than normal bonds for those that are alleged to have committed acts of violence, especially with firearms and especially towards your law enforcement officers? Listen, guys, we're not saying that officers' lives are more important than other people's lives. What we're saying is that when you have such a low bond, it emboldens violent offenders and it destabilizes law and order in your community, and it discounts the sanctity of life. That is the point. And our police officers are public servants. They're not indentured servants. And while their lives aren't more valuable, they're damn sure not less valuable than others either. So this is simply what we have said, guys. All we'd like to ask the judges is for attacks on our police officers to be treated the same as if a judge were attacked. Because something tells me if a judge were shot at multiple times with bullets whizzing past their head, there would be something greater than a $100,000 surety bond where you could pay $10,000 and walk out the door. So why is it any different for the officers who enforce the very laws that these judges are supposed to uphold? That's the question.
Rick, what's a bigger problem here in Marion County? Is it the fact that the judges seem like they make soft bail based on these matrix that they create, or is it the prosecutor's office that almost wants to act like a defense attorney more so than a prosecutor? Is it both? Is there one that's more egregious than the other? What's the biggest problem?
It's the recipe for disaster that we have warned of. It's the perfect storm. There's a systemic effort by your criminal justice system to decriminalize the criminals. And at the same time, with things like this and attacks on officers, it serves to depolice the police, meaning criminals are emboldened and police will police less, or there will be less police to do the policing because no one in their right mind is going to intentionally place themselves in harm's way if they believe there will be no accountability for those who are doing the harm. And that is what is occurring. And that is the message that gets communicated time and time again when we watch these violent offenders get low or no bonds and little to no criminal sentencing. Remember, guys, we had a guy that was convicted for killing a police officer and received less than 5 years for doing so. I warned then that this is what we would be facing. And what has happened? We're now hundreds of officers short with more looking for the exits. And the ones who suffer are the taxpayers and the residents of Indianapolis, the most marginalized in our community, the elderly and our children. They are the ones who suffer the most. That is why we've got to pull out the stops, keep our cops, and get serious about reforming the system of so-called justice we're supposed to have in our capital city.
Chatting with Rick Snyder. He's the FOP president, Lodge 86. So, Rick, you mentioned the shortage of officers in Marion County. I saw that the Department of Justice just awarded $157 million in grants nationwide to help hire more officers, increase the pay in some areas. Did IMPD get a sniff of that?
As of right now, we're being told that they received $0. The question that we have asked is, did you even try? Did you even apply? Listen, guys, the Department of Justice is making $600 million available in total nationwide on this issue of officer retention and officer recruitment. They're doing that based off of discussions they've had with law enforcement professionals. I personally went to Washington, D.C. and participated in such discussions. So I know what they were told and what they're basing it upon. And it's everything we've been warning of here in Indianapolis. And so when we find that they make these dollars available to specifically focus on officer retention and recruitment, and your city police department doesn't get any, it begs the question, did you even apply? And if they did not, then taxpayers should be demanding answers to that question. Again, it would be evidence of not pulling out all of the stops to keep our cops. And that's what we've got to change. And, guys, other cities in Indianapolis have already received money for it. Fort Wayne, as an example, received $1.25 million toward their budgets to help with this. And yet Indianapolis is sitting here hundreds of officers short and no dollars coming our way from the federal government.
Hey, Rick, there are some liberal opinion writers for the Indy Star that would make the case that the IMPD has gotten a lot of what they requested and a lot of money and, license plate reader technology, gunshot detection technology, and it's kind of like an ongoing thing. I'm trying to, articulate their argument. What would you say in response to some of those criticisms?
Well, the reason why you're having difficulty articulating it is because it's not a valid point.
Yeah.
It would be like saying we've spent money on fire trucks why should we care about fire anymore? You've got to do it all, and you got to get back to basics in what you're doing. And listen, when an officer can go to a surrounding community and make 20, 30, 40% more than what they're making in Indianapolis with less grief, less heartache, less dangers, and more support from their community, it begs the question, why wouldn't they leave and do that? And here's the answer. They are. I posted recently a picture of an entire shift at another police department that's made up of IMPD officers that left Indianapolis. Plainfield Police Department also has nearly the equivalent of an entire shift of officers that are all from IMPD. See, this is the point I've been making. These officers are going to serve. The question is if they're going to do it in Indianapolis or somewhere else.
Hey, Rick, it's a tough question. That doesn't make you mad, does it? I saw that post, and I thought, man, those are good officers leaving IMPD, going other places. Is there any part of that that kind of pisses you off? But for the right reasons. Like, I know you hold no ill will towards the officers, but
none at all. What angers me is that the environment has been created that incentivizes these officers, these law enforcement professionals that have not only dedicated their lives but risked their lives for this city to really be forced to go somewhere else for the betterment of their family. But also, you got to remember that these families are giving their loved ones out to us every day, not knowing if they're going to come back. And so if these officers can go to another community that lessens the chances of their demise and at the same time can come out better financially doing that and just a better work-life balance, why on earth wouldn't they do it? That is why we've got to be serious about competing. We can't rest on our laurels anymore, and we can't just keep thinking we're the biggest city in the state and therefore everything will just happen naturally. It will not. What will naturally occur is your community will continue to devolve, business will continue to flee and leave, and tax revenues and dollars will leave as well. And you're left with a shell of a city instead of a thriving community like we expect in Indianapolis.
Rick, last thing here before we let you go. Did the partnership between the state police and IMPD have a positive impact on those street takeovers this past weekend?
They absolutely did, and proved positive what we've been saying about utilizing state police supplements. Listen, guys, here's the dirty secret. Over the weekend, when we were trying to find officers to work overtime to help provide for these extra details to stop these street takeovers, it was very difficult to find officers who were willing to do that. We've burned them out, we've ran them into the ground, and we've treated them like trash. And then we wonder why they're not willing and able to help us out in our critical time of need. State police stepped up. They helped cover that. I think it was a great example of our partnership, but it's also another example of why we must raise the morale within Indianapolis, get our police department back on track, get our staffing up, and then we have less of a need for those supplements. But in the interim, we've got to have these standby measures in place and available to us. And, guys, it's a really dangerous time. Any semblance of a moral society continues to decay before our eyes. And if we don't get women and men who are willing to stand the line in the middle of that, the good and the evil, it's our residents that are going to suffer. And Indy cannot wait for our decision makers to get on the ball and remedy this. That's why we got to keep beating the drum and get them to move on this because it's just too critical, the dangers that we face.
Rick Snyder, President, Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86. Rick, as always, we appreciate your time. God bless you. And tell your officers thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, guys.
Matt Bear standing by with a look at the roads.
South side crash eastbound 465 at the White River. The right lane is blocked, stopping traffic past I-70. 30-minute delay on that. Looking at inbound 65, stop and go traffic MLK to Meridian Penn will take you 11 minutes. Eastbound 70, stop and go Belmont to the south split. East side northbound 465 slows from Penn Pike up to 75th. Crash Southeastern Avenue at Acton Road. Crash south side US 31 at Thompson Road. And a reminder, Penn downtown is shut down until 11:30 tonight. That's Penn at Washington Street. That's southbound one-way closed at Washington. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
73 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We need 50 more likes on the YouTube page. We have to get to 100 or somebody dies by the end of the show. So please do us a favor.
Is that right?
That's what I've been told. Do us a favor. Jump to the WIBC YouTube page. Hit that little thumbs up. We got to get to 100. Help a couple brothers and a sister out. Like the page right now. Is this anything? Next.
Hands down, Mark Dietl is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Listen to what Mark from Danville had to say. I finished building my new perfect home out of state and needed out of my old place quickly. Plus, to cover the cost of the new home, I needed a big price. Mark Dietl was the answer. Home sold in 3 days on the market over my asking price.
Mark Dietl is the only real estate agent that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show. And it's because of the guarantee. The guarantee is a game changer. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietl today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life. And that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
At Shane Company, we'll help you create a ring as unique as your love story. We have the biggest selection of diamonds in all shapes and sizes, and center stones in an array of colors, including sapphires in blue, pink, green, lavender, and more. Just the other day, a couple picked out a blue sapphire that perfectly matched her eyes, and they left knowing her ring was truly one of a kind. That's what happens at Shane Company. Come check us out. You might just fall in love with something unexpected. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today.
and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Nige, is this anything? Former NFL star Brett Favre revealed that he was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
That's bad.
But he did it as he was testifying before Congress about a welfare fraud scandal that he's caught up in. He's not facing any charges yet, but it was kind of an odd time to break the news.
I wanted to help my alma mater and benefit the community. Sadly, I also lost an investment in a company that I believed was developing a breakthrough concussion drug I thought would help others. And I'm sure you'll understand why it's too late for me, because I've recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's. This is also a cause dear to my heart.
Yeah, it's sad. At 54 years old, 20 years in the NFL, an icon, a legend, Super Bowl winner, diagnosed with Parkinson's. I don't think this welfare fraud thing, I don't really think he had any idea what was going on. You get into the weeds of that testimony, Hammer. I'm telling you, I don't know. I listened to a lot of it yesterday. I mean, it was all signed off by Mississippi. I know they're trying to regain some funds from him. He's already repaid more than $1 million. They built some, what was it, a volleyball stadium? And then his daughter started playing volleyball for the university in 2017. I don't know. I listened to the testimony yesterday. I thought, this guy had no idea. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's a good. But intertwined in this, is the fact that he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and that's a shame.
Yeah,
that's
that
awful.
sucks.
That's really
Don't wish that upon anybody, but I like Brett Favre as a dude. He's kind of the man's man, right? But he's made some bad decisions in his life.
Yeah, well, the D picks don't have anything to do with the
no, but
what he's going through now, if that's what you're referring to.
I'm just saying, if you're asking me, is it beyond the realm of possibility that the same guy that would send pictures of his crank out to a reporter might be involved in some financial shenanigans? I can kind of see where there would be a discussion.
I understand the hesitancy there to believe him.
The woman said that it was gray. Remember that? Jen Sturger was her name, and she described the photos as it looking gray.
Look like a fish?
No, that's Weinstein.
Oh, I'm getting my cranks confused. I'm sorry. Okay.
Is this anything? Actor Johnny Depp was at a film festival in Spain promoting a movie he directed called Modi, 3 Days on the Wings of Madness.
I can't wait to see it.
During a press conference, he said his life had become a soap opera.
It's a soap opera.
I say that I've been through a number of things here and there, but, I'm all right. I think we've all been through a number of things. Ultimately, maybe yours didn't turn into a soap opera.
Soap opera. I'm still talking like Jack Sparrow. You want to see crazy? I'll show you crazy.
That anything?
No, I don't know what wings of. And again, I haven't seen the movie that he's directed, so I'm just so
But do you
cynical
want to hear
about
Johnny
these
Depp
things.
saying his life is a soap
No,
opera?
I don't want to hear a millionaire.
You chose to be an actor
several times over. That the comment I'm referring to is when he was having a fight with his ex-wife, and he started pouring, I believe, wine into a goblet at 8:30 in the morning. There it is.
What happened?
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you crazy.
See crazy? I'll give you crazy. Pours a wine into a giant glass.
I don't want to hear an actor complaining his life is a soap opera.
Don't ever complain about
That's what you do. It'd be like a musician saying, boy, my life is a song. Well, yeah, that's what you signed up to do. That's what your career is. I don't wake up in the morning, boy, my life is a radio show. No kidding. That's what you signed up for, dumbass. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I exclusively use American Standard equipment to heat my home in the winter and to cool my home in the summer. Here's Hammer to tell you about one of those amazing independent Central Indiana American Standard dealers.
How about Family Heating and Air, the Morris family and their staff ready to help you out this fall and into the winter. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today to make sure that furnace is safe and ready to go for when that cold weather starts to move in. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion if you've already got a quote from somebody else. If something seems a little off about your quote, call Family because nobody takes care of you like family. 317-577-8077. Family Heating and Air, 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
As the summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-262-1104 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-262-1104. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Even pets are pitching in. 72 degrees, partly cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. No rain showing up on your radar at the moment. Tonight's low drops to about 59. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 432. One of the members of Indiana Task Force 1 is from Crown Point, and he has a search and rescue Labrador retriever named Jake. John Hayrick reports.
Ryan Cusack works with the Crown Point Fire Department. He tells Wish TV that Jake's job is to find people after any kind of natural disaster, and if there are survivors, especially ones that are too weak or maybe trapped under debris, Jake finds them.
And when he finds them, he starts to bark, and that's what alerts us to the presence of a victim so we can go and rescue them.
Indiana Task Force 1 left for Florida on Tuesday to help out with Hurricane Helene response. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The withdrawal from Afghanistan back in 2021 still doesn't sit well with Indiana Republican Congressman Jim Baird.
But you know, it's been 3 years since the attack at Abbey Gate that left 13 U.S. service members killed because of the failed policies of the Biden administration and Secretary Blinken.
Yesterday, he recommended that Blinken be held in contempt. Baird's a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. One of the 13 service members who had died was from Logansport. Donald Trump says the U.S. should warn Iran about threatening politicians.
You do any attacks on former presidents or candidates for president, your country gets blown to smithereens, as we say.
Trump campaigning in North Carolina today. The former president says intelligence officials have told him about Iranian threats to assassinate him. Scammers are trying to go after your email.
And they have a lot of personal information that they will use to kind of confirm that what they know is real.
State Police Sergeant John Perrine says those scammers will lie and say they've got a type of spyware on their phone that's not even available on the private market yet. Perrine says, remember that if something seems off, it probably is. A mixed day on the market, mostly not great. The Dow was down by 293 to 41,914. The NASDAQ was actually up, by 7 points to 18,082. The S&P 500 was down by 10 to 5,722. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 4:34.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
With traffic at 4:35, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, south side, there's a crash westbound 465 at the White River, blocking the right lane, stopping us back to Sam Jones Expressway. Delay time now up to 39 minutes. Eastbound 70 from the west side to downtown. Stop and go traffic from Holt Road to the south split. Inbound 65, stop and go from the White River to the north split. Delay continues down to Fletcher Avenue. Crash on the east side, 46th Street west of Emerson Avenue. Crash southeastern Avenue at Acton Road. Crash on the south side. This is Meridian School Road west of State Road 135. And another crash on the south side, US 31 at Thompson Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dry and mostly cloudy for tonight with lows down in the upper 50s to low 60s. Thursday will feature partly to mostly cloudy skies. Isolated showers cannot be ruled out with highs in mid to upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Steve Indiana for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Show.
Oh, man, I got some good news for you, Hammer. You
Bring
ready?
it. Bring it.
All right. According to some of your favorite high-profile Democrats, the number of violent crimes in the United States has dropped for the second year in a row.
Oh, really?
Data released by the FBI revealing the U.S. saw 364 violent crimes per 100,000 people in 2023. That's down from 377 per 100,000 the year before. A 3% drop, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Well, I'll be a son of a you-know-what, Nige.
You can say son of a bitch. That's all right.
But what if we're not getting all of the information? Let's bring on somebody that can explain this in a way that most others can't. Dr. Currie Myers, former sheriff. He's America's favorite criminologist. He's part of the faculty at Benedictine College. Dr. Myers, it feels like we might not be getting all of the information as these Democrats are doing a victory lap on crime going down.
Well, I caution people about using feelings all the time, but in this case, your feeling is correct.
True. Good point.
This really gets my goat. I keep seeing the politicians, politicians who want to show that crime is actually less, keep using these numbers. I even see it in think tanks who recite this and put it out, and then the media runs with it all the time. The problem is that in my research that I've done, and you can view all my work on my Substack at drcurriemyers.substack.com, by the way. It's all cited and sourced. About 25 to 35% of the 18,000 law enforcement agencies in the United States do not provide data to the FBI. the FBI Uniform Crime Reporting Program, better known as the UCR. It's a nationwide crime that everybody's providing this data. Now, to cite this and back it up, in 2023, the Marshall Project cited in their research that more than 6,000 law enforcement agencies were missing from the FBI's national crime data. That was just done last year. Now, the FBI is about a year behind, sometimes a year and a half behind on the collections of data. That means, my friends, that a quarter of the U.S. population wasn't represented in the federal crime data last year. And this includes major agencies: Los Angeles PD, New York PD, Atlanta PD, Phoenix PD. These are places, by the way, I think probably have high crime.
Yeah, the biggest cities in America.
Yeah, so I just finished. So I'm going to give you some personal understanding here. I just finished a 3-month in the process making of a report. Again, it's on my Substack, and I just released it on Monday. I studied the consequences of Proposition 47 in California that was supported by Kamala Harris and Governor Newsom. It started in 2014. It basically decriminalized crime and decriminalized drugs, okay? In that research, I saw that 31% of the 58 counties in California only gave partial data or are not reporting full crime statistics. And so this data is a little even more current than the FBI data. So this continues to hold true, but we have 31% of the counties, of the 58 counties, that are either giving partial or not full reporting. So here's the reason why. And what bothers me as a researcher are people, there's things called quantitative data research and qualitative data research. If you want to look at quantitative, you're just looking at a number that the FBI puts up. Qualitative is the color behind the numbers, right? So if you look at the factors contributing to why crime is actually high, and I believe it's actually double what the FBI is saying. One is focused deterrence. We have less police officers on the street today, and the lack of the use of using police to enforce the law. We've had a 44% increase in police officer retirements. There's an estimated 14 million illegal aliens in the country now at present, and those are conservative numbers.
Right.
Many of those cases are not reported, underreported, and, oh, by the way, law enforcement also has to interact with them now, which takes away their bandwidth to go out and do proactive crime. 2, the reduction in consequences for drug and property crimes, which has led to a broader sense of lawlessness. So if there's no consequences and there's less, we used to have a carrot and stick mindset on criminal justice public policy, but now if there's no stick, you're going to continue to commit violations of the law. Number 3, we've had reclassification of crimes. That means we actually have fewer offenders being incarcerated because we've actually thrown out things that used to be felonies. In California, stuff that used to be felonies is now a ticket, by the way. And then you don't have to show up to court for the ticket. And then they put a bench out arrest for you, but the arrest is just a ticket. And you get fined. So when I was out there working with California, the criminal histories on some of these people, they had 10, 15 outstanding warrants that are never going to be addressed because they're never taken into jail. So answer this question for me. When I did, this is my study, from 2014 to 2023 in California, violent crime rose by 23%, while arrest for violent crime dropped 9%. So how in the heck can the FBI attribute that? Property crime by 38%. And drug crime, get this, drug crime by an incredible 86%.
Wow. So
those numbers are not going to be reflected as criminal cases and arrests that goes to the FBI. And also the data shows that 63.8% of violent offenders nationwide reoffend after being released from prison. In my study in California, it's closer to 75 to 78%.
Wow.
That are reoffending.
Yeah, that's a big number. And, Doctor, we're seeing that here in Indianapolis, the revolving door of the criminal justice system, as we call it. Guys that get right back out on the street, and next thing you know, it's another violent crime. When we see somebody's mugshot in the news or on television, there's usually a pretty good chance they've got a pretty lengthy rap sheet.
Well, that's very true. And there's other data to support it. The National Crime Victimization Survey used to be concurrent with the FBI UCRs. It's not now. About 40% of violent crimes and 35% of property crimes were reported to police on the average. Only 47% of violent crimes are reported to police. So 63% of sexual assaults are not reported to police. 70% of domestic cases are not reported to police. 50% of burglaries go underreported. And so if we don't even get that, some of it is because we don't have as many police officers on the street. Some of it's because of defunding, but I call it crime reporting apathy.
Yeah.
You get so tired of seeing crime and you're throwing up your arms, and you've literally called the police multiple times, and they either don't show up or they can't show up, or they show up and the officer says, "I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do because the prosecutor is not going to prosecute this case." And the lack of manpower is hurting us significantly. If you look at national clearance rates for crimes committed, that means solving crime. Murder, it's an all-time low. It's only 52% of murders in America are solved. Rape, 26%. Robbery, 23%. Aggravated assault, 41%. Only 13% of burglaries. Only 12% of theft. Only 9% of motor vehicle theft. And motor vehicle theft is skyrocketing around the country. And cybercrime, my goodness gracious, I don't even know if we can go there. There are some people that estimate that that's 90% goes unreported.
You know, Dr. Myers, we can talk about like why citizens don't report crimes that they witness or see, but I want to touch on something, and maybe you can expand on it. At the beginning of this segment, when you said there are large cities with law enforcement agencies that aren't providing data, and I was wondering maybe if you could talk just a little bit more about that and what's behind that.
Well, there's two things. In about 2020, the FBI decided to change the software for collecting the information, and it was a major change. Similarly, I think 2 years later, FAFSA, if you're familiar with how kids go to college, they got to apply for FAFSA in order to potentially get loans. They changed the software too, and there were major problems collecting data there. So the unintended consequences of changing systems when agencies either couldn't afford or didn't know how to upload the information to the FBI was the most serious reason why this is occurring. The second reason is there are some cities that purposefully do not show their crime statistics. And there are some cities that decide to charge people for lesser offenses than what they really found. And that's to hide crime stats as well. There's a percentage of people that do that because it looks bad. It looks bad politically, and it looks bad for the city for people to come. So those are the main reasons, but the probability reason for the highest percentage is this change in the system. And to this day, there's some agencies that are not providing any of it because they can't afford to do the increases. Even, some people think, well, big city police departments have all this money. Well, they have large budgets, but about 80% of police budgets in America go to personnel. It goes to paying salaries and benefits. And then you've got your 10% that goes to training. We are a country that undertrains law enforcement more than most modern countries in the world. In America, it takes more hours to become to have a nail salon and do nails, more training than it is to be a police officer.
Wow.
And so that, and I'm not saying we should overregulate those either.
Right.
But at the same time, we are woefully under-training our law enforcement because we're not willing to spend the money and not able to give money to police budgets that we really should have. Budgets for government should be based on core services. And when you give them to other things that are non-core government services, the core services of government that we want, which is streets, bridges, police, fire, are always going to suffer because there's only a certain set of tax money there.
Doctor, we got to wrap it up here. We're up against the break. We could probably talk for a couple of hours here, but if somebody wants to follow your amazing research and look over those numbers, where can they go?
drcurriemyers.substack.com. It's Currie, Currie, Myers, Myers. You can also look me on X at Dr. Currie Myers.
Doctor, great stuff as always, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks for having me on.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you ever worry if you'll run out of money in retirement? If so, you're not alone. 70% of Americans fear running out of money in retirement, more than they fear death itself. And now that Social Security is projected to run out of money in less than 10 years, going broke in retirement could be a very real threat. Learn the latest strategies that could help you avoid running out of money in retirement with a free analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
We know and trust Bill Demery, and you can too. So if you have saved more than $200,000, schedule that free analysis right now by calling 317-648-5120. The last thing you want is to be 80 years old, full of life, and flat broke. So call Bill Demery today, 317-648-5120, 317-648-5120.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Truck drivers, it's time to drive for a company that values your time. At Midwest Logistics Systems, you'll get home every day and have a predictable Monday through Friday schedule with occasional Saturdays. Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of driving out and back routes and hauling no-touch, mostly drop and hook freight. MLS drivers also earn performance and safety bonuses and have access to a comprehensive benefits package. Explore our selection of local dedicated driving jobs and apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need, when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists, ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
Hey, what's up? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel Show. You guys rocked it at our WIBC debate viewing party at 416 Wabash. That place is so cool. You guys were the stars of the show. And if you're looking for a place to have your next event, whether it's a wedding reception, class reunion, you name it, check out 416 Wabash. As a wedding DJ, I've played a lot of venues, and I got to tell you, 416 Wabash might be the coolest. 416wabash.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
In high school sports, it's fun making big plays, facing off against your school's rival, and winning games.
But behind those exciting moments is a lot of hard work, perseverance, and mental toughness. I'm Kate Garden from Wawasee High School.
And I'm Claire Hack from Jennings County High School. High school sports help student athletes develop the mindset we need to face life's challenges, be resilient, and embrace the uncomfortable.
We learn that overcoming adversity is how we grow. And by leaning into challenges, we develop courage and integrity.
We discover there are no shortcuts to success and that it only comes when preparation meets opportunity.
Behind all the fun and excitement of playing, we are growing as people and learning powerful life lessons through high school sports.
I am IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support the second classroom by buying a ticket to your school's athletic events. Thank you for being a champion of high school sports. This is developing resilience. This is conquering challenges. This is your IHSAA.
Friendly reminder to change your filter. Head on over to our website at familyhvac.net for some of the best pricing on filters around.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Sundown Gardens has 20 to 50% off trees and shrubs all week and 50% off pottery. Located at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Head to the WIBC contest page and enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra's brand new show on Thursday, December 19th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. And while supplies last, you can purchase tickets for just $49.99 plus fees.
If you want to read that Substack that our previous guest was just talking about, Dr. Currie Myers, breaking down a lot of stuff about the real crime numbers and how they get reported, we just put that on our Twitter, @Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe to his stuff, man. It's fantastic. Hey, Matt Bear, what's up?
Problems on the west side. Hammer going southbound 465. First, a crash after Sam Jones Expressway. That's been pushed out of the interstate onto the shoulder. Still stopped back to Washington Street. Get past the crash. You are still in stop traffic. All the way down to the White River. That's because of crash cleanup continuing. Eastbound 465 of the White River, blocking the right lane. Total stop traffic back to Washington Street. Eastbound 70. Stop and go from Holtz Road to Meridian, Illinois. 10-minute delay there. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic from the White River to the North Split. Delay continues down to Fletcher Avenue. Eastbound of 465 now jammed after Meridian over to Allisonville Road. Crash east side, 46th Street west of Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
73 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We went a little long talking with the doctor, so we got to take a quick time out. But when we come back, hell has frozen over. I'll tell you what we're talking about next.
Hey, Galaxy Concrete Coatings did such an amazing job rehabbing my garage floor, putting a new coating on. It's 4 times as strong, got a lifetime warranty, very easy to clean. They were in and out within a day. My Galaxy Concrete garage floor is certainly out of this world. The staff was amazing to work with. In fact, I'm so happy with Galaxy that they're coming back to do the concrete floor in my basement in the furnace room. Galaxy Concrete Coatings, they do garages, basements, pool decks, any indoor or outdoor area concrete. Check out their website to see pictures and get a quote. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or 317-751-9070.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through October 10th, get fast, reliable 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract with free Wi-Fi equipment included. And ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed.
Need a new work truck? Need a new fleet vehicle? Andy Moore Ford has got you covered. Over 800 new vehicles available on the lot, including the Super Duty trucks, available starting only at $43,995. You've got F-150s, transit vans, the custom work vehicles for any industry, all built Ford tough, and Rangers with that all-new body style from only $36,995. And of course, you want the cool, fun stuff. They've got the Broncos, the Bronco Sports. I'm driving a Bronco. I own a Bronco Sport. And interest rates as low as 0% APR available on new Andy Moore Fords. And when you need service, Andy Moore Ford will come to you. Just schedule it online at andymoreford.com. They'll come pick up the vehicle, service it, and bring it back to you as good as new. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Visit them on Main Street. Tell them Tony Cat sent you, or find them online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R.
I love Andy.
andymoreford.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
John Daly urging residents to finish storm prep today as Hurricane Helene heads for northwest Florida.
If this Category 3 does hit Tallahassee directly head on, it will be the largest storm in written history ever to hit our community. So we are taking it extremely serious.
Now, forecasters say Helene could be that strong when landfall happens, possibly late tomorrow. For now, it's a Category 1 hurricane. Fox Weather's Mike Seidel is on Keaton Beach in Taylor County, where evacuations were ordered yesterday, expecting a storm surge of up to 18 feet.
Remember Ian, Cat 4 into Florida a couple years ago? That was a 14 to 15-foot surge at Fort Myers Beach. So we're talking maybe higher than that. 18 feet puts you up in the palm fronds here at the beach. So just imagine that wall of water coming in. Now, it doesn't come in like a tidal wave, but it slowly rises.
And along with heavy rain, damaging winds are expected to spread well inland, beginning tomorrow, extending up to 275 miles from the center. Vice President Kamala Harris says building a strong middle class isn't about politics or ideology.
From my perspective, it's just common sense. It's just common sense. It's actually what works.
Doubling down on proposals to invest in manufacturing, housing, and small businesses during a Pennsylvania speech, while accusing the former president of breaking promises and getting played by China.
Now today, Kamala Harris is supposedly announcing her so-called plans to support manufacturing and wealth creation. Why didn't she do it 3.5 years ago?
The former president in North Carolina. The House just passing a short-term spending bill.
On this vote, the yeas are 341, the nays are 82.
It would fund the government into December and give more money to the Secret Service. A Senate vote expected tonight. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's not just the humans helping out. Cloudy, 72 degrees downtown. No rain showing up on your radar at the moment. Your low tonight dropping to about 59. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Firefighters, emergency responders, and even some animals will be helping with the response to the storm Helene. John Herrick reports.
Indiana Task Force 1 left for Florida on Tuesday to help with the response to Hurricane Helene. Ryan Cusack is a trained search and rescue operator with the Crown Point Fire Department. He has a Labrador retriever named Jake.
His job is to find survivors after a disaster. Specifically, he looks for survivors that might be too weak or even unconscious and they're unable to call out for help.
He tells Wish TV that when Jake finds them, he starts to bark, which alerts Indiana Task Force 1 about where the survivors are so they can rescue them. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An email extortion scam has been making its way through Indiana, says State Police Sergeant John Perrine.
It shows up as an email, and what's interesting is the scammers have done homework on the victim, on the target.
Perrine says the scammer will claim to have Pegasus spyware on their phone and then try to extort money from someone. The thing is, though, Pegasus is a very specific software that you can't even get. Tornadoes struck parts of northern Indiana Tuesday. Investigators were helped out by video to make the confirmation, says forecaster Megan Dodson with the National Weather Service.
It's a little bit easier when you have a video. Because that kind of rules out the, was it straight line winds or a tornado? And so you can go right to how strong was the tornado.
A few people were hurt in those storms in Noble, LaGrange, and Steuben counties. And a janitor from Terre Haute became a millionaire yesterday after winning America's Got Talent. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
His name is Richard Goodall, and he was celebrated on NBC's show after capturing the hearts of Americans singing 80s songs like Eye of the Tiger, Open Arms, and of course, Don't Stop Believin'.
People have bucket lists, and then there are bucket lists that you don't even know about. I'm into the bucket list that you don't even know about that comes with all this.
Speaking with Extra, he says he plans to buy a home with the money that he just won. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of, why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal. Like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
The traffic on the 5s at 5:05. How are the roads looking, Matt Bear?
On the west side, not good. Harrison, southbound 465 crash after Sam Jones Expressway covering both shoulders, causing stop-and-go traffic back to Washington Street, US 40. After that, we are stopped all the way to the White River because of another crash. Eastbound 465 at the White River, blocking the right lane. Total stop traffic back to Sam Jones Expressway. Delays over 45 minutes. A lot of drivers saying I want no part of that and taking eastbound 70. So that is now stop and go after Sam Jones into Meridian, Illinois. And that delay time is 17 minutes. Inbound 65 stop and go before MLK to the north. Split delay continues down to Fletcher Avenue. North side, eastbound 465 stopped from Meridian over to Allisonville Road. Crash Lafayette Road at Kessler. Crash Meridian School Road on the south side west of State Road 35 at a crash downtown. This is University Boulevard at Michigan Street. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dry and mostly cloudy for tonight with lows down in the upper 50s to low 60s. Thursday will feature partly to mostly cloudy skies. Isolated showers cannot be ruled out with highs in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's
Big news, Hammer. I am very excited. It's a miracle. Maybe this is well, you've heard of the October surprise in the world of politics, in the realm of politics. Maybe this is a September surprise. Kamala Harris has decided to do a television interview.
Wow! No way! Her first one-on-one interview, because the last time she sat down with the news agency, her dad was there.
Yeah, her old dad, old balls, Tim Walz.
But tonight, it will be one-on-one. Kamala Harris and...
Live?
Oh, no. No. Oh, Nige, you and your drugs. A pre-recorded thigh massage from Stephanie Rule of MSNBC.
Really? Wasn't she on Bill Maher the other night talking about all this stuff?
She was on Bill Maher's program talking about how awesome Kamala Harris really is.
Let's say you don't like her answer. Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
No, I'm not. I just said I'm not going to vote for her.
She's not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know her answer to. And in 2024, unlike 2016 for a lot of the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do, who he is, and the kind of threat he is to democracy.
Oh, there it is. Threat to democracy.
So I'm sure it's going to be a hard-hitting, ball-busting interview with Stephanie Ruhle, who referred to herself, Kamala Harris, and others as we that are running against Donald Trump.
Wow. And then the threat to democracy.
Well, sure.
Where have we heard that before? And what have we been talking about in terms of that that name for Donald Trump, that description for his presidency?
I was told we were going to turn down the temperature, turn down the hateful rhetoric after he was shot.
Yeah, well, twice. He
shot once,
attempt on his life twice.
At least twice. Who knows how many more are out there that we don't know about.
Iran, yeah.
But this is a pre-recorded, slow-pitch softball that Stephanie Ruhle is going to throw to Kamala Harris tonight. And I promise you, if there were any word salads, any unburdens by what has been, they're going to be edited out.
The children of the community are the children of the community.
The Great Gatsby, he was great. Keep in mind, when she sat down with Tim Walz, mind you, she had a wingman with CNN. They sat down for like 45 minutes to an hour, and all they got was 18 minutes to air. That's it. Everything else was such crap, they decided not to air it. So it's going to be the exact same thing tonight. When she does something live, let me know. When she goes on to a rival network, let me know. Because Donald Trump does that all the time.
Well, she did do the debate live a couple of weeks ago and then continued to repeat those same words that she used in the debate line after line after line in a couple of interviews she did afterwards. But never answering any questions.
No. And not getting fact-checked on all of the lies that came out. Like Donald Trump is part of Project 2025 in Charlottesville and all that crap.
Hey, people's rents are higher, much higher than they were in 2019, 2020. What are you going to do about that? Well, look, I got to tell you, I identify with you. My mom was a renter back when I was a kid. Next question.
Ms. Harris, there's a lot of people that are fearful for what's happening at the southern border. These Venezuelan gangs seem to be congregating and coming right through. Your thoughts? Look, I grew up in a middle-class family.
That's a great answer for anything.
Right. Nigel, why didn't you do the dishes?
Well, I grew up in a middle-class family. I did.
Producer Allison, why are you late hitting our sound effects?
Well, I'm come from a middle-class family.
Okay, thank you. Colby Hall is the founder of Mediaites, a website that's pretty left-leaning, but focuses on the media.
Real left.
Colby Hall has thoughts on Kamala choosing Stephanie Ruhle for her first one-on-one.
What we know from Steph Ruhle, not just from that appearance on Real Time with Bill Maher, but how she hosts her show and the panel discussions she leads nightly, she's really crossed over from being sort of an accepted journalist to an advocate. So she's got a lot at stake here in terms of her reputation because, of course, Kamala Harris has been avoiding the media and avoiding difficult interviews. There's a great opportunity for Steph Ruhle to ask her about how she has evolved on several positions. There is a narrative that Kamala Harris is avoiding challenging confrontations, and I don't quite understand why. I mean, they've moved up in the polls significantly since she was announced as the nominee over Biden. And so they're playing a sort of a safety route. That said, the narrative of her avoiding tough conversations is one that they've entirely created. And I've argued that she should go on right of center media. She should show that she can handle tough confrontations, like she did very well in the debate with Trump. Go on Fox News. Go on Newsmax.
And she did do okay in the debate. Let's not act like she didn't. But she didn't give you any answers.
But she didn't get a giant bump.
Right. But she didn't crap her pants. And that was what the expectation was, right?
That's the expectation.
Sure. I mean, look what the previous guy did. and he got thrown off the ticket.
There was a veritable coup
Right.
taking place after that debate with Donald Trump.
So the question becomes, which accent is Kamala going to choose tonight for her interview with Stephanie Ruhle? Alex tweets at us, at Hammer and Nigel, I have a crisp Andrew Jackson that says Kamala goes with a Boston accent tonight for diversity reasons.
Oh, okay.
Because she can go Southern Baptist, she can go Black Church, she can do pretty much anything she needs if she's pandering to the right crowd.
You better thank a union member.
I say, son, you better thank a union worker for that day off. So what are you going to be watching tonight? Kamala Harris's first interview one-on-one, pre-taped with somebody that's going to try her damnedest to sniff her butt, or win or go home game for the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark and company on the road against Connecticut.
Yeah, that'd be Caitlin Clark. I will leave it up to Allison to cover the debate tonight, and she can fill us in on the details tomorrow, our producer.
Allison, that is your responsibility. You have to watch Kamala Harris tonight, and Nigel and I will watch the game.
I already know what she's going to say. I already know what it's going to be. Don't we all?
Yeah, I'll watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
What?
Like, I love that Allison has the oldest TV shows in the world on in this studio. We're supposed to have news channels on every TV in the studio. There are 3 of them. Now, one of them doesn't work.
Of course.
One of them has our news partners at Wish TV on. The other one is supposed to have, like, Fox or even CNN or some sort of news channel on it. What did you see when you came in here today?
I believe it was Andy Griffith.
Listen, the moment you guys leave, I can watch whatever I want.
Like, I'd expect that from JMV, but not you.
Like him a good Andy Griffith episode.
All right, Matt Bear, I'm told that our equipment has frozen. Allison cannot play your official traffic jingle, so I'm going to do it myself, okay?
Okay, please.
Are you
do.
ready?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, it's Matt Bear!
Well, keep going now, all right. Looking at eastbound 4... Thank you, Hammer. Eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road, the fast lane is closed and traffic is stopped back to Meridian Street. Looking at eastbound 70, good Lord, crash. And this is at Holt Road in the center lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to Sam Jones. We're already heavy because people are rerouting around the south side, west side crashes. First one is southbound 465 after Sam Jones, which has a slow to Washington. We stop after that to the White River because that is a crash. Cleanup still active, blocking the right lane. Again, that's eastbound 465 at the White River. Inbound 70 now drags rural into the north split. Inbound 65 is grinding from MLK to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Oh, my God, that's Matt Bear. 73 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. A fun, slightly intoxicated round of Are You Okay With This next.
Hey, it's the Hammer and Nigel show. We don't use anything other than American Standard equipment when it comes to your HVAC. When it comes to your air conditioning, your furnace, there's a reason why I use American Standard equipment, because they're the best in the business. And we love the local, independent American Standard dealers right here in Central Indy.
Big Nige, how about Reinhardt Heating and Cooling in Danville? Danny Reinhardt started Reinhardt Heating and Cooling 38 years ago. They're one of the longest tenured American Standard dealers in all of Central Indy. Danny's sons and daughter are among the well-trained experts that are also on staff at Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, hooking up Hendricks and the surrounding counties. Make sure that furnace is ready and good to go for when the cold weather moves in. Call Reinhardt in Danville, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt Heating and Cooling in Danville. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government. which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Truck drivers, it's time to drive for a company that values your time. At Midwest Logistics Systems, you'll get home every day and have a predictable Monday through Friday schedule with occasional Saturdays. Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of driving out and back routes and hauling no-touch, mostly drop-and-hook freight. MLS drivers also earn performance and safety bonuses and have access to a comprehensive benefits package. Explore our selection of local, dedicated driving jobs and apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Hi, this is Zach Ingledow from Ingledow Tree Experts. When it comes to the health and beauty of your trees, trust Ingledow Tree Experts. Our certified arborists ensure your trees are trimmed, removed, and cared for with precision. Fall is the perfect time for tree maintenance. Call now for your free estimate and let us handle the hard work. Give me a call, 317-903-0102, or visit IngledowTreeExperts.com for more information. Ingledow Tree Experts, where your trees come first.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Are you concerned about rising property taxes? My name is Donald Rainwater, Libertarian candidate for governor. My plan would limit your property taxes to 1% of the purchase price of your property. It would never increase, and it would end once you've paid for 7 years. To learn more about my plan to make Indiana government less taxing, go to rainwaterforindiana.com and watch the televised gubernatorial debates this October. My name is Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message, paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
The financial advisor industry is a flawed system. Find out how to fight back and protect your retirement on Expedition Retirement, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and want a local independent American Standard air dealer you can trust like Absolute Comfort? Well, find that dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Are you really okay with this? Are you okay?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer, a new study shows that more than 50% of coffee drinkers have been afraid to say their customized drink out loud when ordering because they don't want to be drink shamed. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I am okay with this. Sometimes you have to drink shame somebody. You absolutely do. And this is an example of what I'm talking about. So I previously worked at WZPL, pop station in the town. And when Dave Smiley, their current morning guy, first got there, I was like the stunt boy with some other people. We took him on a road trip to Wrigley Field, where the Cubs play.
Okay.
And if you sit in the bleachers at Wrigley, it's kind of like a big frat party, right? It's a bunch of bros, everybody's drinking beer, people take their shirts off, nobody cares about the game, it's just a rowdy bunch of dudes. Smiley orders a Zinfandel, Like, he goes to the concession stand and comes back with a wine in this clear cup, and I thought for sure the meathead in front of me was going to beat the living hell out of all of us. So we had to tell him, dude, you got to be aware of your surroundings here. You may be a wine guy, but the bleachers in Wrigley is not the place to have that beverage.
Zinfandel.
Oh, it was so embarrassing, so bad. I just wanted to leave. I'm a Cub fan. I actually wanted to watch the game. Felt like leaving. So yes, every once in a while, you have to shame somebody. If not, they won't learn, Nige.
I have slightly different take on that. Whenever my daughter, 10 years old, wants me to go to Starbucks, I have to order specifically a grande, 1 pump vanilla syrup, splash of soy milk, peach juice blend, no water.
But then you can turn around and say, it's for my daughter, and people understand.
Okay.
You're not doing it in the mosh pit of a drowning pool concert. You're not doing that in the bleachers at Wrigley. There's a difference.
Okay. It's hilarious. There is a... I'll shut up. I won't say anything more about that story.
No. Now you've opened it up. What happened?
There's just a 3-letter word that's permeating through my head about that particular order at a Cubs game. I should move on.
No, you shouldn't.
I really should move on.
Go ahead.
8 bulls escaped from a rodeo in Massachusetts, charged through a fence, and ran through the parking lot. Here is the moment they escaped, caught on video, and people in the community talking about the escape.
I had a legit rodeo in my backyard.
As soon as I stepped out, when I looked over there, and I was like, those aren't horses. Those are literally bulls. And oh my God, didn't hit the pool. They didn't hit nothing else. Yeah, I'm glad that was fenced off back there. And they all just stopped. So there's a lot of kids around here. We don't want anybody getting hurt.
Yeah, nobody hurt. 8 bulls escaping from a rodeo in Massachusetts. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I love it. This is what you get for having a backyard rodeo in Massachusetts. You don't buy salsa from New York City, and you don't go to a rodeo in Massachusetts, of all places, especially one of these towny rodeos in somebody's backyard. I don't trust the massholes, and that's what they're called if they live in Massachusetts. I don't trust the massholes to do anything right, let alone put on a Southwestern-style rodeo in their backyard. So, yes, I'm glad the Bulls got out, and the only unfortunate thing is that nobody got hurt here.
That's the bad news of the story.
They didn't learn anything, right? If somebody would have at least got gored or trampled, then maybe a lesson would have been learned here.
Allison, can I have some mood music, please?
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
2/3 of Americans say that if you are putting up Halloween decorations, you should at least wait until the 1st of October. On the other hand, 6% of people say that you can put them up whenever you want. Hammer, are you okay with this?
No, not okay. So 2/3 of Americans say you can't put it up until October. Meanwhile, 75% of the Hammer House say take your lips, pucker up, and kiss the fattest part of my Beech Grove backside. Because the coupon ladies had lights up and blow-ups up for the last couple of weeks.
I saw the pictures. Yeah.
The Christmas decorations are coming up. The minute Halloween is over, it's going to look like an IndyCar pit crew. We're going to have the boys out there, myself, one lights go down, the next lights go up, bada bing, bada boom.
We have very weak Halloween decorations out right now. We have fake webs on our bushes.
I like fake webs. Okay.
Very weak. And then my wife just informed me I'm going to have to get in our attic, which is broken. Like the steps that it's like a pull down thing.
Like Clark Griswold gets into in Vacation?
Yes. It's broken, but I have to tenderly get up there, and we will be putting out the Halloween decorations this weekend.
Do you have a little ladder to get up there?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The ladder is not right. It's broken. It's like kind of split. I have to navigate and kind of put my foot on the railing that's in our garage.
Why don't you call Tony Katz to get up that ladder?
Tony That doesn't get on ladders. Are you insane?
Not getting on a ladder. Hey, coming up next, Tony Kennett will join us, the Tonus from the Daily Signal. Right now, we got the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Over 50 this year. Partly cloudy, 72 degrees downtown. Radar is clear of any rain. Low of 59 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 529. More tornadoes touched down in Indiana Tuesday. These ones in the northern part of the state. Megan Dodson with the National Weather Service says video was able to help meteorologists make a confirmation.
It's a little bit easier when you have a video. Because that kind of rules out the, was it straight line winds or a tornado? And so you can go right to how strong was the tornado.
The storm impacted Noble, LaGrange, and Steuben counties. Several injuries had also been reported. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump says VP Kamala Harris hasn't done a very good job of securing the southern border.
When Kamala speaks about the border, her credibility is less than zero. I hope you're going to remember that on Friday when she tells you about the border. Ask her just one simple question. Why didn't you do it 4 years ago?
Trump at a campaign stop in North Carolina today. Harris is scheduled to be in Arizona before the end of the week, likely to be talking about the border. President Joe Biden spoke to reporters today ahead of a meeting with Vietnam's General Secretary.
We continue our path-breaking work to heal the wounds of war. I'm proud that we, the United States, have committed $250 million to complete the detox remediation.
The president says the two countries have also made a progress in opening up supply chains and cybersecurity investments. Students can now apply for free to more than 30 different colleges and universities in the state this week. Here's Wes Woodward.
Some schools waive their application fees as part of National College Application Week. Some other colleges and universities that are participating do not require application fees for some types of applications, like those for most undergraduates, but do require application fees for graduate and international students. Participating colleges and universities will waive their application fees until September 27th. The goal of waiving application fees during National College Application Week is to encourage more students to apply before the early application deadlines. Wes Woodward, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Scammers are trying to go after Hoosiers through email.
And they have a lot of personal information that they will use to kind of confirm that what they know is real.
State Police Sergeant John Perrine says those scammers will lie and say they have a type of spyware on their phone that's not even available on the private market at the moment. Perrine says if something's off, it probably is. And with a look at the roads at 531, here's Matt Bear.
Northsiders crash eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road. It's been pushed out of the interstate to the shoulder, helping the front of the line clear out. We're still stopped from 31 over to Keystone Avenue, just a little bit beyond as well. Looking at southbound 465 on the west side, crash at Sam Jones Expressway covering both shoulders. Then a crash on eastbound 465 at the White River. That's blocking the right lane. Total stop and go traffic on that southbound eastbound direction from Sam Jones Expressway to the White River. Now, if you're pushing on eastbound 70, that's going to be slow from Holt Road, from Sam Jones Expressway to Holt Road because of a broken down semi in the middle of the interstate that's blocking the center lane. After that, stop and go on into Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic from 38th Street counts down to the north split. Northbound 65, slow out of the north split up to West 21st Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dry and mostly cloudy for tonight with lows down in the upper 50s to low 60s. Thursday will feature partly to mostly cloudy skies. Isolated showers cannot be ruled out with highs in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hey now, it's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here, and on the hotline is the Tonus, Tony Kennett. He's an investigative reporter for the Daily Signal, and he's the host of the Tony Kennett Cast every Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock, right here at 93 WIBC. Before we dive into anything like super important, Tony, are you still having like home improvement hell? Because I'm having that at home too.
I got to tell you, man, I am in the middle of still working on the brand new studio, also getting the house ready for winter. And if I could take a moment just to thank your listeners, so many people that are especially HVAC guys have reached out who listen to the Hammer and Nigel show. And they have been, seriously, all of the listeners in 93 WIBC have been phenomenal in reaching out, giving a little bit of help here and there, and offering just little bits and bobs. It's made this process way easier. And I tell you what, man, I'm glad that I'm not on the radio in like New York or something where nobody's helpful at all.
Well, whenever you get the big studio finally built, you're going to have like a rager to officially christen it in, like Tonus stock or something. And we'll get a keg, we'll bring the celebrity beer bong over, and we'll turn this thing out.
I'm kind of sad you left that singular, as though we wouldn't need multiple.
That's right. That's right. All right. I don't know if you saw this earlier today because you're actually doing work, but I know you're normally a consumer, just like Nigel, of The View. And earlier today, Joe Biden, he sat down with old hags of The View. And my favorite part about this, Tony, is that Joe Biden clearly stated that he tasked Kamala Harris with being part of foreign policy and important things in the White House. And while it makes it look like she's important, she's trying so desperately to break away from Joe Biden. Was that intentional from Joe Biden, or was that just an old man not thinking and kind of throwing her under the bus?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's a little bit of both. I think that Joe Biden feels shafted. I think that he feels like he's gotten the raw end of the deal. Everyone in his close circles have spent the last 10 years telling him how he's like the wonderful Rooseveltian hero statesman for all time, that he's...
Oh, Sonny Hostin compared him to George Washington today, Tony. George freaking Washington.
Exactly. And I was getting little bits of that just while it was being uploaded today. I mean, there's so much to break into. I've got a lot of work cut out for me tonight. As far as Biden doing this on purpose, I think he's just been fed so much of this garbage for years that when you mix it with the Alzheimer's, that he really does believe his administration's been a success. Because who out there, this is why when he'd get out on the air and he'd in front of the journalists and he'd say, "Let's look at the polls. Let's look at them." And it's like, dude, there's more red here than like a stinking mob bank account. What are you doing, buddy?
Right. But for Kamala Harris, because it had to have drove her nuts today when Joe Biden said, yeah, she was right there with me. She was doing foreign policy, because this whole time she's been running to be the president like she's the outsider. She's trying so hard to break away from anything Joe Biden. And this old goat goes on TV today and says they're lockstep, hand in hand, doing everything together.
You know, there's an old Saturday Night Live sketch. I think they were making fun of Scrubs, and the whole theme of the sketch was that they kept charging up the shockers, the paddles, after to revive somebody's heart, and through the entire sketch, they just keep on zapping the corpse, thinking that's going to work. That's the Kamala Harris campaign. They have tried so hard to actually give her momentum, and at this point, to watch 40 days before the election, the Trump campaign just stopped doing everything just to point at Kamala and Biden together is a kind of poetic justice that I don't care what political party you're in. Dude, that's funny.
Tony Kennett joining us, host of the Tony Kennett Cast. All right, let's keep it with Kamala here. Are we back on to trying to kill the filibuster? Are we playing that song again?
I got to be honest with you, dude. This is probably the most dangerous proposition to the American government. It's the only thing that is keeping the United States from basically functioning like the European Parliament system, in which as soon as the next party gets in, they scrap everything on earth and then reinstate their new thing. And so it's this big, huge flip-flop of policy and police and a mess. In this country, our founding fathers said, you know what? If the government isn't moving, good. Gridlock is a good thing. And you know what? Needing 60 votes with some special rules for the Senate in order to pass big laws, that's a good thing. Kamala Harris pretending as though she's going to kill the filibuster for Roe v. Wade for abortion, and then all of a sudden the Democrats now holding that hammer are going to put it down. Remember in 2013 when Mitch McConnell warned the Democrats that as soon as they did the nuclear option 51 vote thing, they would regret it? Have the Democrats ever put that power back down? No! And all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that the Democrats totally won't use the filibuster to add D.C. and Puerto Rico into statehood, giving them a permanent Senate majority? Come on, get out of here.
And don't forget extra seats on that Supreme Court. Nothing infuriates them more than the fact that the Supreme Court eliminates their ability to do so much bullcrap.
You know, it really is crazy how much this Democratic administration models Woodrow Wilson, and not just because, you know, the president's dead and Edith Wilson is running the administration, but this man really was so obsessed with the Kaiser in the early 1900s and this German administrative state where there was really no legislature. It was just the president and all of his agencies. It is deeply disturbing given not only the things that would later on happen in Europe because of it, but because of how many people's rights were trampled and ended up escaping to the United States to get away from it. Now, there's nowhere left to go. It really is a final destination situation.
So now let's pivot from Kamala Harris to her opponent, Donald Trump. He's on the campaign trail, I believe, in North Carolina today. Just a couple months after being shot, couple weeks after another near assassination attempt on his life. And it sounds like the Iranians are getting squirrely again. Donald Trump still out on the campaign trail. Tony, your thoughts?
First of all, this man's got a heart of stone. I don't care anything else about him. I know he runs his mouth. There's a lot of things about Trump I don't like. But if you think anything could keep me from going to vote from Donald Trump, you're on meth. I am enamored with the absolute American badassery of a guy who looks at shooters in the face and basically just tells them to piss off. Bald eagle screeching in the background, riding ATVs, holding a Coors Light in the air. Dude, that's the most American thing I've ever heard. I love it. It's fantastic. And I tell you what, again, there's a ton of stuff I don't like about Trump. But it doesn't matter. The man is standing up against all the assassination attempts. The new revelations about the Secret Service are so abysmal. Eisenhower has to be spinning in his grave fast enough to generate electricity. That's how bad things are.
And go back to the Iranians here for just a moment. So there's a credible threat from Iran that they basically have a bounty out on Donald Trump. Also, the Iranians have been hacking into the Trump campaign's computers, getting information, and then giving that to Harris operatives and members of the media. Now, for 2 years, Tony, I had Russian collusion shoved down my throat, but there are some actual credible things happening here, and I don't hear a damn word from the national media.
No, and it gets worse because right now the United Nations is in session in New York, and the Biden White House has dispatched extra security to protect the Iranian president. If there's ever a time that we would say, get out of here, get out of my country, get your ambassadors out of my country, absolutely not. This would be the time. The nation of Iran, from the imams over to the office of their president, have encouraged assassination attempts to drive chaos in the United States. To Donald Trump, but I wouldn't be surprised if other candidates from the presidency to the Senate on the left and right were on that hit list. They want chaos and division in this country. And, of course, yeah, you're right. No media notice of this because, God forbid the left ever be complicit in anything. But it is interesting how we're allowing the Iranian president during a credible threat situation, a series of situations, on a former president and current presidential candidate's life. This Iranian president is just breezing around New York City, popping into bodegas and eating caviar at the UN. It is insane.
Can you stick around for one more break with us?
Absolutely.
All right, having a conversation here with Tony Kennett of the Tony Kennett Cast. He's coming right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Here's an important question. Do you ever worry if you'll run out of money in retirement? If so, you're not alone. 70% of Americans fear running out of money in retirement. And now that Social Security is looking like it might run out of money in less than 10 years. Going broke in retirement could be a very real threat. You need to learn the strategies that could help you avoid running out of money in retirement with a free analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
Every time I meet with Bill Demery, he takes the time and explains things in a way that I can understand. And that's why he's my retirement guy. He should be your retirement guy. So if you've saved more than $200,000, schedule that free analysis right now. It's free. 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy, 317-648-5120.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. 317-659-7574. At Universal Windows Direct, their super spacer technology makes their windows last up to 5 times longer than other Windows systems. So your windows from Universal Windows Direct perform better and last longer. Plus, Universal Windows Direct backs it up with a true 20-year warranty. And listen to this deal going on with Universal Windows Direct. Call today at 317-659-7574, and for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus, what a deal, 0% financing for 60 months. That's right, 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com, UWD.com, UWD.com.
After college, Mike Braun could have gone anywhere. He chose to move back to his hometown of Jasper, Indiana. There, he started a small business, kept his head down, worked hard, and turned his small business into a national company, employing thousands of Hoosiers. He'll use that same determination for us. Lead the charge on lowering the price of gas, groceries, energy. Take on the big healthcare companies to increase healthcare access and lower costs. And Mike will improve education across our state by increasing school choice. Mike will make our streets safer, back the blue, and stop illegal immigration if the federal government won't. Because Braun believes every Hoosier should be safe and secure in their community. As governor, Braun will continue working for Hoosiers. Because when you're Mike, working hard is just what you do. Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Heating and air conditioning can be the largest investment you make in your home. Here at Family, we pride ourselves in offering many flexible options.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Southside crash cleanup continues. Eastbound 465 at the White River. That's between Man Road and I-69. The right lane closed. Traffic stop to Sam Jones Expressway, then slow to Washington Street. Delay is 51 minutes. Just happening. Crash westbound 70 between Royal Street and the North Split. 2 right lanes are blocked, causing stop-and-go traffic back to the Royal Street Keystone Avenue interchange. Looking at the north side, crash clear. Eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road. Stop-and-go traffic back to Meridian 31. Crash on the south side. This is McFarland Road at Stop 11 Road. One on the east side, Shadeland Avenue, south of East 38th Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
73 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back with Tony Kennett. He's an investigative reporter from the Daily Signal and the host of the Tony Kennett Cast every Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock, right here at 93 WIBC. I saw that your euchre partner, Ilhan Omar, put out a lovely statement in regards to Israel's attacks in Lebanon, Tonis.
I love this. And the reason I love this so deeply is because she and Representative Rashida Tlaib are giving the Democrat Party such incredible headaches. You've got Kamala Harris, who's trying so hard to ride the fence, not going too much in favor of Hamas and Hezbollah, not trying to go too much in favor of Israel. And it's not working because Ilhan Omar releases a statement, when she's not making out with her brother, saying that, these Israelis, these Jews, saying they're throwing their bombs at the Lebanese people. They're not. This is totally illegal. No, it's not. The UN said Hezbollah couldn't, occupy southern Lebanon. Oh, the Israelis just doing this out of nowhere. Not a single word from her about the thousands of rockets fired indiscriminately, killing, by the way, not just Christian and Jewish children, like they have been in Lebanon by Hezbollah for the last 40 or 50 years, but slaying Bedouin Muslim children playing soccer. Not a word about that, but, oh, man, the minute that a couple of pagers blow up, I tell you what, she has got her turban in a tizzy.
And what's wild is that college kids on campuses all over America, for whatever reason, they've chose to listen to people like Ilhan Omar. We had Trey Yingst on our program yesterday, who's embedded in all of this, and we asked him flat out, hey, you're there. You see the war happening. You've almost died over there. When you talk to the locals, are there people protesting over there the way our college kids are protesting over here? And he basically just laughed and said, no, I have no idea why the American college kids are choosing to get their marching orders from terror organizations, people like Ilhan Omar, but yet ignore what's happening from the reporters that are embedded over there.
That's true. And by the way, I can't explain how jealous I am that you actually had Trey on. He is, if I had to list probably the top 5 reporters and columnists that I look up to, he's at the top of the list. I cannot wait to get his new book, Black Saturday. He is, the stones it must take to be fifth man behind the Israelis going into one of those hospitals at night when there's God knows what waiting inside for you.
And he's a young dude, too. That's what blows my mind. This guy's barely 30 years old.
As someone who is just under 30, he's a guy that I aspire to be. That you guys got him on the air says a lot about the show.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But we have you on the air, so I think that's why we're number one, Tonis. What do you have coming up tonight?
Well, I've got just a little bit of a bone to pick with all of these Democrats running around, running their mouths in the Midwest about all of these things they wish to do, but then endorsing candidates at the national level who want to do the opposite. So I got to tell you, when it comes to McCormick or Destiny Wells or whoever, ready to lose for the 18th time running for anything, I got to tell you, I'm pretty looking forward to seeing them actually choose something for once.
Does Destiny Wells understand the job that she is running for? You don't get to make laws as the Attorney General. Your job is to uphold Indiana and do legal things. Your job isn't to make laws, but boy, it sounds like she's ready to write new pieces of legislation about abortion.
Well, okay. To be fair, after you've run and lost so many different state offices at this point, you've just run for election just until the cows come home. She probably doesn't remember what office she's even running for at this point. So give her a bit of a break. She's probably tired, maybe a bit confused. Little grace where grace is due.
And remember, Tony, if you're a Rewards Club member, if Destiny Wells loses one more race, we get a free 6-inch sub.
Oh, man, and I am so excited because given the alternative to the bread lines in that future, I'll take it.
The Tonis, find him on social media, Tony Kennett, one of the smartest, one of the best people in the business. Tony Kennett, thanks, brother.
Thanks, man. Your check's in the mail.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You're not going to want to wait on this. Get to Diamonds Direct now. You're thinking about popping the question. You got an anniversary coming up, maybe an early Christmas present. Diamonds Direct is here to help you. This September only, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever, made with your needs in mind. Diamonds Direct helping you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0 interest, 5 years, 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase.
Time is a factor, people. This deal is amazing, but it only runs through October 1st. You can get Diamonds Direct's incredible value price and spread your payments over 5 years. And you get the unheard of interest rate of 0.0%. Nothing's held back. Engagement rings, holiday gifts, pendants, certified diamonds, you name it, it's part of the deal. But again, you've got to get to Diamonds Direct by September 30th. If you wait till October 1st, it's too late. DiamondsDirect.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
To learn more, eligible members call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swingco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swingco 317-407-1868 or swingcollc.com.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens. The nursery's filled with great fall selections, so shop now and save 20 to 50% off trees and shrubs at Sundown Gardens. Fall is just a great time to plant, and it'll establish roots for next year's growth. The friendly staff can help you make all the right selections. Visit the Garden Center for all these great things for fall. Mums, pumpkins, fall decor, and more still on full display. 20 to 50% off trees and shrubs and 50% off pottery at Sundown Gardens. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield.
If you have breathing triangle issues like compromised nasal breathing and sleep, snoring, or even sleep apnea issues, a call to Advent makes sense. Because breathing well will help you live better.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Marek Mazurek. The lack of affordable childcare options in the state is costing Indiana, not just on an individual level, but also in terms of economic potential. That's according to a new study from the Indiana Chamber of Commerce and Early Learning Indiana. The price tag for that lost output is over $4 billion each year. Other costs to economic productivity include the 57% of parents with young children who miss work or class because of childcare problems. That also includes the 40% of parents, mostly women, who left the workforce as a direct result of childcare-related issues.
What that looks like for an individual family is that they are turning down job opportunities, they are turning down promotions, they are choosing not to pursue education or putting it off because they simply can't find childcare to meet their needs.
That's Early Learning Indiana CEO Maureen Weber. She added high-quality childcare has the benefit of boosting the future academic performance of the state's youngest Hoosiers. A utility trailer manufacturer is planning to close its facility in North Manchester. In a notice to the state, Novi LLC said the closure of the company's SureTrack facility will impact 80 workers. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress, from the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures. Visit elevateventures.com.
What started out as a simple idea for a free lunch in celebration of National Corn Dog Day has evolved into something much bigger in Bristol.